Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. We're coming to you live from the studios of Best 100 FM in Kingston, Jamaica. This is your host, Minute Lawrence, enjoying some Tina Turner. Tina Turner was one of my absolute favorite singers. And I'm making a list of my favorite songs because as we honor her life, I want to play some of my favorite Tina Turner songs for you. So Lloydie has honored me with Simply the Best, which we've just kind of adopted it as the Best FM anthem. So kind of fitting to start with that one. But may I just welcome you, those who have joined us on air and those who are online. As always, the Best FM morning family, I greet you well. Of course, you hear my voice alone right now because Pastor Percy will burst through the door any moment now. I trust that he is on his way and all is well with him. But this is just so you know, we are here and we'll be right here for you after we've taken the first break of the morning. It's 6:30 a.m. and we are Simply the Best. Morning Connection coming right back.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years, compellingly defined, educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Try and call him, cause trust me.
Ah, what a relief.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Best FM 100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, a.k.a. the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Aaron Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica. The
promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning, welcome back to The Morning Connection. It's exam morning this morning, again, in the house. Some of us had to do what we call parently duties or daddy duties this morning. Some people have been up from early. So you need to get a good night's sleep.
Oh, that's what you were telling him?
Yes.
I stopped telling mine that.
That you leave it at that, you know. I guess they have developed their own patterns of how they study, but...
Well, I tell you the truth. When I was his age, if I had discovered that there were these additional hours in the day that I could use.
Additional hours in the day?
Mm-hmm.
There are more than 24 hours in the day?
Well, how many of them you use?
All of them.
So I said additional hours that I can use.
Okay. So...
We sleep a lot.
Oh, you sleep on?
I mean, in my house, in the house of my childhood, I couldn't get up at 3 a.m. and say I'm starting to work. It would disturb the whole house.
So what did you do?
You lie in the dark, and there were sometimes I used flashlight.
And read?
And read and extend. But, you know, the knowledge that I could see how exciting it was for my son to discover that, hey, I'm not stuck between bedtime and breakfast time. I can choose to be up from as early as I like. So he takes it to a level that I hope will be moderated. Sometimes he's up from 3.
Oh, he's up from 3 o'clock?
And he works and completes different assignments.
But he goes to bed early, though.
What time you go to bed, son? 7:38? 7? 7 p.m.
Well, that is good. Mine goes to bed at 12 and get up at 4. I say, okay, all right. That's what
He'll start to shrink eventually.
Yep.
Tell him if you want to be tall like daddy.
You need to start
Need
to
a little
shrink
more
it.
sleep.
I know I tell them that all the time, but
you need sleep to grow.
Yeah,
but I mean, I really remember when I discovered that the 24 hours are mine.
Okay.
I didn't have to sleep. I start to work 16, 18-hour days. Write all night, wake up just in time to refresh myself.
Coffee was a major.
I don't drink coffee.
Okay. Like, you know what it does to me?
What? Make you
Puts me to
sleep? Yes, it overstimulates me to the point where I shut down. That's what it did to me in university, and I just never.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, coffee and chocolate. It's a Palmer thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Yes. No, but seriously,
it overstimulates me to the point of shut down.
Not really. When I discovered coffee late.
Yeah.
It wasn't a part of my routine. When I went to, and everybody say, remember, we'd say, when burn at midnight, they call it now, a Viber. A Viber?
I have no idea. What's that?
Viber.
Is that like Azusa?
No. Viber would do some extra work, going through the night. And my friends would be drinking coffee. It would sustain them. I would drink it and I'd go to my bed, have a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
That says, this don't work for me.
It didn't work for me either.
It didn't work for me, so.
Also, chocolate made me drowsy.
Okay.
And feel disoriented. Those days, I said those days, like, allergies for me mean you break out in hives and you swell up and your throat.
Is that what happens to you?
No.
Okay, but
I did not recognize that you can be allergic to something and have a milder reaction, like it make you sleepy, or just makes you feel disoriented. So I don't have much chocolate. I can eat a little bit, but if I have a bar of chocolate, for example, I'm Anywho, that's some personal moments there that are not at all necessary.
No, it's kind of necessary because I think it helps to put, when we do this, it puts a lot of things in context for persons.
Yeah, someone is saying, "Oh, that's why."
Yeah,
All right, so let's do some more then. Then I discover there are some mangoes. If I bite the skin, my lips swell up, but I can eat the mango. The stain in the skin.
Yeah, it is not good for you. Yeah, that I understand.
I'm allergic to it. So I'm eating my mango with my swollen lips.
But because you want the mango.
Well, I didn't know that this reaction. That's why I said the allergies for me mean something major occurs. Yeah. Yeah. So if you like mangoes, it is mango season now. There are some mangoes with a very thick skin. And when you break the skin, you see like a milky sap. You can be allergic to just that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is so true.
But you can eat the mango.
But you know, mango.
So peel it.
Mango is a very powerful thing. And more as I'm investigating our different herbs and what they do. And you're discovering.
You're going into the natural path.
Yeah. Some of the things that we just throw away. Some people love to.
Oh yeah.
To have it.
Yeah. Like I remember one person saying to me, we steam the sorrel and we throw away the pulp.
No man, they use it to make chutney and all that. Yes.
They say, don't throw away the pulp.
It's very.
And some other little things that you discover that we're doing it the wrong way. Garlic. I think it was my sister who said to me, she had been, reading or hearing some stuff. The skin of the garlic
it's very potent.
It's very potent.
Yeah, very, very potent.
Yeah, so no, we tend to peel it off and
throw it away.
And throw it away.
Use everything.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah. So no, I just use everything.
So this morning, as we look at leadership, I want to focus in on leadership in the nation, in terms of how we go about choosing leader and the expectations of our leaders, in terms of how they respond, because they have been in the spotlight on our program all the time. But I do believe in recent times, our leadership across the different sectors have come into question in regards to their heart condition and what it is that is motivating them and move them forward. And I want to contrast two leaders, David, Saul. Saul. First, Saul, Israel decided, okay, we want to be like everybody else. We don't want God to lead us. You remember that episode?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And Samuel, the prophet, whose every word he said, it came true. None of his words fell to the ground. And remember how he was chosen, because we looked at him in terms of his mother, Hannah, praying for him and deciding, I'm going to give him back to the Lord. And as a result, he ended up having, I think it was 5 brothers and sisters all together.
She ended up with 6 children.
Right.
Of her natural mother.
Yes. And so they decided for Saul, and Saul was chosen because of how he looked externally and in terms of preparation. He was chosen, was out looking for his father's asses, and that's how he.
You could say donkeys, just to.
Okay.
Just to remove the humor.
And what happened was, he was chosen and he was doing well. He started well. And because what had happened previously, God, through Samuel, gave him instructions that you need to deal once and for all with these persons who have been thorns in your flesh. So he had a mighty victory against the Philistines. And they prevailed. And he's waiting on God to come, because not God to come, for the prophet to come, because there are certain things that the prophet needed to do. And this is found in 1 Samuel 13. Now Saul waited 7 days according to the appointed time which Samuel had set. But Samuel had not come to Gilgal, and the people were scattering away. So Saul said, "Bring me the burnt offering and the peace offering." And he offered the burnt offering, which was forbidden to do. And as soon as he finished offering the burnt offering, Samuel finally came. Saul went out to meet him and to welcome him. But Samuel said, "What have you done? What have you done?" Saul said, "Since I saw that the people are scattering away from me, and that you did not come within the appointed time, that the Philistines were assembling at Mishma, therefore I said, now the Philistines will come down against me at Gideon, and I have not asked for the Lord's favor by making supplication for him. So I forced myself to offer the burnt offering." Samuel said to Saul, "You have acted foolishly. You have not kept the commandment of the Lord which he commanded you. For if you had obeyed the Lord would have established your kingdom over Israel forever. But now your kingdom shall not endure. The Lord has sought out for himself a man after his own heart. The Lord has appointed him as a ruler, leader over his people, because you have not obeyed what the Lord commanded you." We must learn in our personal lives, and I'm even speaking to myself even now. If God has given instructions to you and God has set a way for you to operate, you need to understand what it is that you are called to do and what it is that other persons who are working in what I call there's a word that sips me now, in the whole functioning.
Because I don't think the people on radio can see what
No,
you're doing.
no.
He's
No,
making a shape. It looks like a globe.
Yes, a globe. Yeah, in terms of what God is seeking to do, because people have different functionalities
Mhm.
in terms of what they need to do and to understand the role and how you fit in. He was called to fight and to lead, but Samuel was appointed to be the priest, to offer the sacrifices and prepared. And some of the time we lose it when we step over into what somebody else is supposed to be doing, because we are losing sight of what it is we are called to do. And what happens to us a lot of the time, I think we get envious and red eye and see God doing something in that person, and we want it for ourselves. Well, God says, just follow the path I've set for you to walk in, and you'll get your success. But Saul missed it because he was looking for the people's response, and that is what was guiding him in terms of how he should respond in the situation. And what happened to him? He lost everything. He lost the kingdom. He lost the kingdom. He lost the kingdom because it keeps coming, because he did not obey what it is God had instructed him to do. I gave him the instruction and the blueprint. This is what I wanted to do. That's your role. That's your function. That is what Samuel is supposed to do. Don't step over into what needs to happen because it's gonna cause problems for you. And ultimately, what happened to him is because he did not follow the instruction, he did not obey according to what the instructions were. He lost it all. What is the implications for you as an individual? What are the implications for you as a leader? Leaders have specific roles and responsibilities, and you keep reminding us that good leaders are good shepherds because they have the concern of the people at heart. When we now begin to follow after what people are thinking and what people are saying, and we become afraid and lose sight of what we have called to, we get ourselves into problems. Contrast that with David. When David was selected, remember in 1 Samuel 15, because the rejection of Saul had happened, and God says, no, I need somebody after my own heart. And in the selection of David, remember he had 7 other brothers, and Samuel goes to do what he is called to do, and the 7 brothers come and say, that one, and him said, hold on. And he came to a point and said, but that is not what I hear God saying. There must be somebody else. And David comes, and David looked good, but his brothers were even better looking than him. But God says, that is the man that I've chosen because he has the right heart attitude, and I choose him. What is the right heart attitude? Humility.
You know, as you say that, Percy, this business of looking at the heart, it's always about the heart, but I'm making a note here that Saul was a king after the people's heart, and David was after God's heart.
Correct.
And you can see it playing out because, of course, poor Saul, I always say, doomed to have a particular experience because he was the people's choice. There's this psalm that says, God will give you the desire of your heart. The people wanted a leader so they could be like their neighbors. And more than anything else, what was troubling them is when you have a king, the king will mobilize the army to defend his throne. It's personal to the king, and he will mobilize and defend. When they were being led by God, God would raise up a judge, a prophet, and through that direct line, chain of command, the people got their direction. But God would not raise up a prophet while the people's heart remained mired in rebellion and sin. Well, sin and rebellion, same thing. So you found that only when things reach a crescendo and their hearts were turned back to God, that he would raise up a prophet. And you had those atrocities taking place in the days when Israel had no king and everyone did as he pleased.
In
so
Judges, yes.
Them realizing that, okay, then my neighbors come at me with armies because the king leads the army. I can't bother to live to the standard that would have God constantly on my side.
Okay.
So you know what? I'll take a king.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what they did.
Yeah.
And Jamaica, let's bring it to current day. I'm of the belief that we get the leaders we deserve. That's what I believe. I believe that when we get a good leader, it is because the hearts of the people fall in such good spiritual alignment that God raise up one of his own that is generally reflecting the heart of the people. When we are in our place of stubborn pride and rebellion, we get what we have now. That expressing my own view. We get what what you see
That's
is
the
what we
bling.
deserve.
We're not after the principles, we're not after the right values.
Right.
We're about
And
the
so
PR.
you watch the leadership of this nation at all levels, not just political, pursuing what is generally reflective of the lifestyle, the ambitions, and the heart position of the nation as a whole. It's not to say that one or two of us aren't kicking against the pricks and trying to reverse things, but the critical mass that is needed to push the nation forward, we don't have it. We do not have it. Church leadership, equally condemned on that score. Business leadership, selfish and greedy and grasping. Political leadership, you see what they do. They pay themselves better than the people they serve. We get what we deserve because that is really the spirit, the heart that we're putting out. And for the change to come, of course, you know the steps for the change to come. But as you were dissecting Saul's behavior as leader, you saw him not respecting the order of things because there was, in those days, a sharp line between what the political leader do and what the church leader does. Samuel was in charge of all things pertaining to that direct channel to God. And Saul was for the people. And look at it. When Saul grew tired of waiting, not because he didn't even understand, he was watching the movement of the people.
Yes.
And he did not have the fortitude or the respect to say to the people, the priest is coming, wait. The prophet will be here, wait. It is for your good that you maintain the course. He saw them leaving him, and because they were where his heart was, he decided to take on what he shouldn't. But you notice that God permitted him. How many times you see people cross the breach and are struck dead? Not so with Saul. Saul completed the sacrifice, so that it is when Samuel came and saw that, oh well, the man gone ahead of me.
Yeah, and he said, you have been foolish. And then when he turned, he held on to him and says, make me look good in front of
Right. Again, he's still looking for the public approval, the PR moment, and the robe, the prophet's robe tore.
Yeah, and he tore and it said, same way as
the kingdom will be torn from you.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I know you're giving some big lessons this morning.
Yeah, big
ahead of the praying on Wednesday. but those are major, and it's not just leadership at the national level. In your home, in your job, in your relationships, the areas where you must be respectful of order.
Yes, the order of things.
The order of things.
Understand how
and
things
don't
flow
take on,
and rolls.
Because God is a God of order.
And honoring things. And he does that. And again, he gets another chance. That was with the Philistines. That's in 1 Samuel. Then in 1 Samuel 15, God says, okay, all right. God mercifully.
Very much so. But even in the end, coming from what you were reading there, at the end of the day, when Saul went to speak to the witch, and Samuel's ghost was called up to speak to him, Samuel said, tomorrow you and your sons will be with me. With Samuel, wherever Samuel was. And we know Samuel was not in an unhappy place.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. That was interesting because despite the failings and the weaknesses and so on, it does not seem that Saul was shut out of a good reward. Let's put it that way.
And so
when Saul was sent to anoint David, and he saw the strong, handsome sons who were all older, taller. In fact, we know that they were in the king's army too, because they were present when Goliath was killed. It was those older boys that David took lunch for when he heard Goliath and took up the challenge. As Samuel himself, though Samuel was so anointed, Samuel saw the excellence of the form of the boys as they came. And he was saying, oh, surely here comes a king. This one should do. And then I think it's where I certainly picked up from my revelation from that exchange is where God demonstrates here that Saul, who was of the form. You remember Saul was taller than everybody else.
Yes, he was like
He stood above, right. He had the excellent form and the stature, which looked kingly. And here is where God says, okay, you see how Saul looked? That's after the people's heart. You are looking at the outward. I am looking at the heart. And his choice of David showed that through David, God took back the leadership of his people. Because when he chose someone of his own heart, it meant that that person would reverence him and put him in the number one position as they make decisions for the nation. So you still have a king, but it's a king who now is in alignment with what God wants for his people. So it is for us. We, as we are choosing our leaders, we must have the discernment to make choices that are in alignment with what it is that God would put in place for his people. So we, the voters, have to develop that level of spiritual discernment.
Yeah.
We can't just go based on how they sound, what they look like, the profile,
or the party,
which is a whole new thing for Jamaica, but we're going to get there.
In terms of
7 o'clock break.
Wow.
We're there. We'll be right back.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Congratulations! You've gotten your products on the shelves in retail outlets overseas, and you can now call yourself an exporter. So, what next? Stay tuned as Interim Vice President for Export at Jampo Shane Angus answers that question and more as we continue our look at making your business export ready. Becoming export ready starts with research to find the right market and distributor for your products. Once that is done, the next stage in the export readiness process is marketing. The process often begins with an exercise known as market segmentation. At this stage, you as the exporter must decide where you want your goods to be placed in the retail outlet.
There are two types of segments in most supermarkets. There's mainstream and there are the we call the ethnic aisles. Mainstream is where you find the big boys playing. So if I'm doing, for argument's sake, tea, let us use tea for example. If you go into the supermarket in a state, you'll have, look up at the top and you say, aisle 1 has flour, sugar, aisle 2 have tea, coffee, etc. When you walk in those areas, you have the big tea companies then. They are fighting for that aisle. Powerful aisle. They are doing crazy promotions. They're giving you 3 packs of tea for $2. You know, they're fighting each other there. That's where the big boys they play their game.
Mr. Angus believes Jamaican exporters should focus their attention on the ethnic aisles as this increases their chances of getting their products to the right buyers.
So now what you find is you're appealing to the persons who have a connection with your country, who, you know, those type of persons, you're appealing to them because your budget probably and your production capacity at the start probably cannot allow you to fight up at the big shelf in the main aisle. So when you go into the SD, that's where you find a lot of our products play, because now we're appealing to the persons who have a connection. Because when I'm in the States and I'm shopping, I tend to walk in my SD card because I want some Jamaican product. So that connection is where you play on. Grace over all the years and all the supermarkets I've seen have mastered that, because they tend to play in those aisles that they dominate.
In addition to appealing to the persons within the diaspora, the other reason to have products placed in the ethnic aisles is better price margins.
Because my production cap is not as big as those guys. We're probably selling 1 pack of tea for $2 or $3, while they're giving the 3 pack of tea for $3 up on the big aisle. So massive their productions are and how the economies of scale are big and how they aggressively market against each other. So Ted play on big low and them guys they can play up there so easily. So if you go in that area, you'll be consumed. You'll be lost because people say, why should I buy this tea for $3 when I can get 3 packs of that? You know? But you go in the ethnic aisle where a person says, this I want Cersei tea for Shabbat and I'm going to take because I want Cersei tea.
After you choose where you want your products to be placed, there's another step in the marketing process, allowing potential customers to sample the products.
we encourage and distributors to do this a lot when they're bringing products and try to break them into the market. They do a lot of market activities. They will probably lock down a supermarket for a day or two with having sampling, those type of things. They might go to an event like a reggae show and they might have booths here and there sampling the product and they want you to get used to it and they tell you which supermarket you can find it. So the whole marketing thing is a partnership between the distributor and the sellers here so they can understand how to play. And once you understand that, then you grow within that space and you probably grow to the stage eventually you can now play in the big world.
Mr. Angus says the final things to keep in mind when trying to promote your products in overseas markets is to be strategic about which retailers and communities carry your product.
It's a matter of what you're doing, and when you're going mainstream sometimes, I can give you examples. You can go mainstream and they say, listen, we need to have this supermarket chain, and you have to look at the chains as well. You have different types. You have the big Walmart, you have the Target. Those are mega chains. But you have other smaller types of chains in the area, that probably have 3 or 4 supermarkets or 5 supermarkets. And I say, but 5 supermarkets here, but the volume of people passing through them in the areas they are is what you're really looking for, because that matches your production capacity. As a matter of fact, it exceeds your production capacity, and it gives you the space now to grow in those markets.
Interim Vice President for Export at Jamper, Shane Angus. There are other steps to cover in the export process, but we'll have to leave those for next week. Until then, I'm Andre Palmer. Thank you for listening and happy exporting.
Calling all candidates registered for City and Guilds exams in June, reminding you that math is on the 6th and English on the 7th of June. Both exams will be at 9 a.m. sharp. You will sit your exams at your schools. Don't miss this opportunity provided by the Ministry of Education and Youth. This certification could be your passport to the future.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Grandpa, where you going?
But see, I have business down by JPS and I need Stephen to take me. I'm going to see what I owe and pay.
You don't have to leave the yard, Pops. Just call 888-225-5577.
You mean to tell me, say, me not have to wait in line anymore?
Grandpa, I registered your account. So when you call from this phone, JPS already knows you and they just give you information.
Look where me live, Sissy. Thank God for you young people.
Getting fired when you tune into Vent, brought to you by Via Express Couriers. This and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Best 100 FM. Hear from some of Jamaica's top entrepreneurs. Get updates on deals and upcoming events, tips for business, and pure vibes. Vent, a safe space for discussion. Make we chat, no man.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Try and call him, cause trust me.
What a relief.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. It's now 11 minutes after 7 as we welcome you back to The Morning Connection. We're focusing on leadership this morning and how important it is for our leaders to exercise good judgment. Hey, good judgment.
There's an issue that it arose tangential to what you're discussing.
Yes.
And I want to make a clarification because you and I love to roll about in the Old Testament. Because it's so colorful.
I like how you said roll about.
And there's so much in it that from which we cannot extract principles that are of good value today.
Yes.
But one of the things that came up as you were speaking, I thought times and seasons. There has to be that ability to discern when you can do one thing versus another.
Like
you
the
spoke
sons
about
of Issachar.
yes. You spoke about King Saul not appreciating that the assumption of priestly duties was something he ought to avoid. And just to wait. For Saul saw that the time appointed for the priest to arrive, for Samuel to come and do that time had passed. So one might say he's thinking that a window had closed, which it hadn't.
No, it hadn't closed.
And he should have known that it hadn't closed because until the priest is there, until the prophet is there, time continues. The season is still open. If there's a thing for the prophet to do, even if he told you, I'll be there in 7 days, it's not for you on the 11th hour of the 7th day to assume the window is closed, because it seemed like it's not like he waited 10 days. It seemed like just as he was finished, the prophet came, which means that the prophet was still in time. He was just, So the arrival of the prophet was on time.
Delayed, but he wasn't delayed.
He was not delayed. Because Saul was measuring time based on the people's reaction and behavior.
Mm-hmm.
He was preemptive in his move. He was using the wrong measurement.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been measuring time based on what God had set as the course of operation, because God isn't moving in hours and minutes. If he says a sacrifice, the time of the sacrifice and who's doing the sacrifice, until until it's in alignment, meaning the right person to do the sacrifice is on spot, the window is open, the season is open. Why times and season became relevant for me is because during that, the different dispensations, during that time, which was during the dispensation of law, the Mosaic law, and all of the rituals and timetable and assignment of tasks and so on, they were operating in that dispensation before man was a minister or could be a priest in his own character. That change. Why, for example, today, Pastor Percival, the access that Pastor Percival has as an acknowledged, ordained man of the cloth of the church, that access which you have, I have it, Lloyd the engineer have it, Miss Dawn the cleaning lady have it, because in a different dispensation, Christ having already come, the age of the church, the door was open for man to now flow in that way. So if Saul had grown impatient in today's world under this current dispensation and decided to offer the sacrifice, no biggie, the rules had changed. The dispensation had changed. So that, of course, is to settle anyone's anxiety at this moment that, oh my gosh, before I can do certain things, I have to make sure that the priest or the one in the church covers me.
No, you cannot, because we are now the priesthood of believers, according to Peter.
Yeah, the ministry of man.
Yeah, so we can boldly enter into the presence of God.
Yeah. So while we like to pull from the Old Testament,
But
this
there are
is a little housekeeping I'm doing.
The principles.
We're at the higher level of the top level principles, and we don't want anyone listening to us to feel that in my walk of faith, I too need to wait until the priest come before I can be absolved. You are now the priesthood of man.
Yeah, priest and king according to first.
Yes. So just wanted to clear that out, because right now, our prime minister or financial leaders, because you see, the financial sector, I know everybody would like the SSL issue to be a discrete issue in a little bowl that you could sweep under the carpet and pretend that it doesn't affect things in the larger body. But as you can see, it is not going away. It should not go away, because every event that you see happen, it happened for a purpose, and the purpose must be fulfilled. And we should not fight against allowing truth and the transparency and the healing and the restoration. Those are all natural parts of a body being able to regain its stability and move forward. It's not necessary for us to apply chemotherapy and surgery to everything because you just want to get rid of it.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
And it is a part, I believe, in terms, we've prayed for exposure. Exposure, and it is coming, and we see it happening, and even that with Mrs. Panton. No, Miss or Mrs. Panton?
Miss Panton. I think Miss.
And the revelations that I made that based on that and all alleged, and you go into and ask yourself, really? But when it broke, I remember you were saying there are some usual players.
Yes, man, the usual suspects.
Usual players. Usual players are out there, and it's coming to light. It will come to light, and a lot of persons are now going, oops. It's not oops anymore. It's not oops anymore. and even Kroll and Associates. I wonder how that work is going.
Yes, and the work that the trustee is doing.
The financial, because it must happen. It should happen. It's so important that the truth come to the fore.
Must allow it.
We must allow it.
We can't be a part of those who try to cover it up in the interest of minimizing the fallout.
Yes.
Because I know I'm one of those who I am one of those who feel that you don't sacrifice the good in order to solve or address the bad.
There's somebody.
But there's a line you draw and the way you draw it to ensure that the good can maintain its purity and its effectiveness by learning from and properly addressing what has gone wrong, the dysfunction. You can't kind of turn your back on it or lock yourself away and say, well, that's what the wicked people did. We are a part of the solution to what the wicked people did.
We must be a part of the solution.
We have to be a part of it.
And I just, Saul, in chapter 13, it's taken from him, but the final nail in his coffin was in chapter 15 when he says, first was the Philistines, and now he goes to the Amalekites and says, you remember them, they trouble you? I want to go deal with them. And he gives them instructions, deal with them. Again, he doesn't fully obey the instructions that were given to him. And you know that famous, it is better to obey.
Obedience is better than sacrifice.
It's obedience. And it is
that's where it comes from.
Yeah, and it is obedience to the principles of God in terms of the call to righteousness and justice. If our leaders, in terms of their heart, were aligned and committed and focused on this thing, is what I'm doing, is it a righteous action? Is it just and fair? Will it bring about true justice? Is it filled with with mercy and truth? Those are hard conditions. Can we obey those principles?
Well, I must tell you that, but I am a creature of today's dispensation, so that might explain it. I find it stomach churning to consider killing all the women, all the children, all the animals. I wouldn't take it for myself, but the idea, I guess that, that one.
The principle of obedience.
I confess it. Yeah.
Obedience. Yeah. Obedience to the principles of, here are the principles: righteousness, justice, mercy.
But I know I don't have to consider, could I do it? Because I'm born in a different time. I'm the creature of a different dispensation, put it that way, the time of grace and forgiveness and so on and so forth, because that debt has been paid already. So it is not in my heart to move in a certain direction. And I tell myself that if I were a soldier in the time of King Saul, I would be in a position to execute those duties. Saul himself wouldn't even kill the king. Now, Saul had killed many. So he wasn't squeamish about, death. And he was a soldier. I mean, remember, Saul had cut up the oxen and sent it around to the 12 tribes and said, this is what will happen to the oxen of any man who don't stand with me in this fight. When a hostile force had threatened to pluck out one eye of the citizens in a town that they wanted to conquer. I mean, outrageous. And the people were actually considering it because so helpless were they. They couldn't fight for themselves. And they were giving consideration to accepting an arrangement where another invading force would come into your country, come into your island, and pluck out one eye of all the citizens, so you couldn't be hidden. You would be maimed and you would be disabled. Can you imagine? No, that's a physical disability that they were imposing as a condition of surrender. Because I guess they're saying, well, later the people of those days were very creative, you know. They were trying to say, well, all these one-eyed people can't raise an army to fight me. Just like when they take away all the weapons and you only have your farming tools, no sword. Remember in the time when David was coming up to fight Goliath, not a sword could be found in Israel. They only had farming tools because the Philistines took them away to prevent them from being able to mount any kind of physical defense. And that's why in today's world, I'm saying that's why, in today's world, you'll see that America will never yield to changing gun laws to leave the people without self-defense. Never. While we are here regulating and policing and stopping citizens from having access. You see, even that the gun control that we see in Jamaica is a relic of colonialism and slavery, you know. Because when you think about it, a black man walking on the street at certain hours with a cutlass or with kerosene, you couldn't buy, I think it's still on the books, you can't buy kerosene oil after certain hours in Jamaica.
Yeah, it's on the books, but not enforced.
No,
a lot of our laws.
Well, I think as JP, you will see, you have to, when you're doing the permissions for people to sell kerosene and so on, there are some regulations that you have to sign to. And so we are still being left defenseless. And while no one has offered or threatened to pluck out one eye, my goodness, sometimes it's better than they do it.
There are other things that you see.
The other things that they're doing to leave you impoverished, vulnerable, incapable of defending yourself. We got to take note. So Saul was the one, that's how Saul took up his throne. When the threat was made against that little town. And the people were actually saying, well, let us just see if anyone will come and help us. Give us some time. I mean, and the man gave them time because no one will come, and certainly they can't help themselves.
But what?
So he says that
a rallying cry.
So they sent out word, who will help us, because this is the offer that's being put to us. And Saul said, what? Chop up his own ox now, send it round, and said, this I deal with you if you don't stand for that town.
Stand for the vulnerable and the distressed.
And yes.
And the children.
That's what pulled him out as king, because after his when he was anointed, he went back. He didn't even tell his uncle that time to be king. He just go back and take up him farming and go on doing things.
And look after
him. Yes. Until a threat against
And that's when true leaders are right.
That's when leaders are pulled out. So for all we talk about Saul and his vanities, I don't miss the point that he responded to the need of the people at a time. He always had the people on his mind, but not in the way God wanted. He had them on his mind for his own
purpose,
self-promotion, and his own speak in tongues, Pastor. And this is where we are and why we dig into some of those issues, because yes, your MP will say, for example, I'm going to donate my salary to the recovery of these people. Great thing. But you, before you take it, must say, why?
Why are you doing that?
Why? Is this another way to pluck out one of my eyes? Is this another way to hobble me? You got to look at it. Same thing with the politicians as they make their pronouncements and set courses that look good. Some of it look good. But if you,
examine it,
those who are being led, if we as a nation don't examine the heart position that stands behind the policies and the various things that our leaders are doing, we fall into error along with them, and it better than it pluck out your eye.
Yeah. Lord help me.
You don't want to pluck out your eye. You wear glasses already.
Oh my gosh.
it's
But
just-
you've made that
yeah.
point is a very crucial point. Even as we continue to look at leadership, because the one we almost there just to start. When he gets the instruction to deal with the Amalekites, he doesn't follow it. And guess what happened to him? Him do the thing and then I celebrate and Samuel come on and say,
What is that sound I'm hearing? The lowing of cattle.
What is that sound?
I love
it. No. So he goes to check to see if he has fully followed the instructions.
Well, Saul lied. He outright said, yes, he did.
Yeah.
He said, I followed the instruction.
Yeah, but God touched Samuel and said, yeah. Not being himself, right? Just go check on him for me, please. And Samuel goes early in the morning to meet, and Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set up for himself. Saul set up one thing and said, look, you know, for me do for no. You know, see the increase that me give everybody, but me I take some for myself. Commemorating his victory. Then he turned and went on. Why do we do that?
Because again, we think that satisfying the demand of the people is a good thing.
But is it a God thing? It's 7:30. It's 7:30.
Yes. All right.
No, sir.
We'll be right back. Let me turn on.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years. Compellingly define, educate, and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how we do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, you know, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. With them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040. Or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try and call him, guys, trust me.
What a relief.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Connection. It is now 7:34. I must have
You
said
wanted to say
9:34.
9:34.
You know, but at that point I was making
Somewhere in the world, it's 9:34.
The point I was making in terms of leaders and obedience. Let's start it. Obedience is about the principles that you have aligned yourself to that you'll obey. Righteousness, principles aligned to justice, mercy, and truth, because that's what God's kingdom is built upon. And so as a leader, even in your individual life, that's how you should behave and do. So he disobeys and he's doing this. He's with his song and dance. Oh, wow, I have done well. And he sets up, I can't believe it, you know. He set up for himself a monument commemorating his victory. That's in the Amplified. Then he turned and went on down to Gilead. So Samuel came to Saul and said to him, Blessed are you of the Lord. I have carried out the command of the Lord.
That's what I was going to look for. Because he
Blessed are
did
you
lie.
I have carried out the command. But Samuel said, What then is this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep, to sacrifice to the Lord your God, but the rest we have destroyed completely. Then Samuel said to Saul, Stop and let me tell you what the Lord said to me last night. And Saul said to him, Speak. And Saul said, It is not true that even though you were small and insignificant in your own eyes, you were made the head of the tribe of Israel, and the Lord anointed you king over Israel. Lord said to you on a mission. Lord sent you on a mission. Leaders are on mission. They are on purpose. And said, Go totally destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they are eliminated. Why did you not obey the voice of God, but instead swoop down on the plunder with shouts of victory, and did even the sight of the Lord? Saul said to Samuel, Obey the voice of God, and have gone on the mission on which the Lord sent me. I brought back the king and said, But the people again.
Mm-hmm.
You see this thing of integrity again starts to play out.
Can I say something at this
Yes.
juncture? Because I don't want us to pass over it too lightly.
Mm-hmm.
When Saul was challenged on the presence of the sheep and the oxen Saul said, they have brought them from the Amalekites.
Me not take responsibility.
He distanced himself.
Me not take responsibility.
It's the people.
It's the people ahead of me.
They have brought them. And then, when it comes to addressing what they plan to do with it, he says,
to sacrifice.
They want to sacrifice to the Lord your God. He said, they have brought them, for the people spared the best of the sheep and the oxen to sacrifice to the Lord your God. And the rest we have utterly destroyed. So he's back in the picture at the time of obedience.
Yes.
But when the wildness are gone, it is they.
No,
it is the people. Just like how so many of our leaders stand on their various platforms and say, what happened to no? Why do I behave so bad? It is the crime and violence. It's about us. They are not a part of it. They are the good ones. But the people that they're looking to lead are the bad ones. I remember during COVID at one time, the Prime Minister threw a tantrum when we wouldn't line up and take the vaccine. It's done with us. Do you remember?
No, I remember clearly.
Yeah, like he says, you know what? I've done my best.
The people.
So this business of leading themselves from the people when things go down that are disgraceful, but wanting to be a part of the game when what do I put it now? When they want something, they're a part of us. But when things go badly, it's us and them. Saul lost his kingdom. The leader lost the throne. Now, Saul remained a king throughout his life. He died as a king. He was not removed in any general elections. He died as a king. But in the way of things, a good king, his throne is occupied by his bloodline.
But his
a good
wasn't.
king.
His was not. His was not. But it's important to know they are uno. So all of what uno, all of what we see unfolding in our nation in terms of the different things, the SSL, the Cornwall overruns, we could go on the myriad of different things that we see happening. The fact that okay, we are doing constitutional reform, and there's not real consultation happening. We made this decision. It is about, let me call it out, leadership or lack of leadership to do what is right. And again, integrity commission, and what has happened with the prime minister's what is it returns or non-gazetting of it,
declaration
of that, and we are 2 days time, we're in June. That should have been done from December last year. So we into it, and with the call is what is happening.
You know, the prime minister was actually reported to have said concerning his declarations that he filed them and he doesn't know why the Integrity Commission has not published them. Can you imagine that? Did you see that reported?
He never said that. No, he
yes,
never said that.
He said yes, file them.
Allow not help on it.
He said yes, file them. And he doesn't know why the Integrity Commission has not published it. I thought he can't have said that. He will pay for saying that.
He was serious or he was just kidding?
No, I think he was serious.
But if he filed them and they could pass muster, as we say,
yes,
it would be a problem.
Yeah.
And it is the same for leadership. If you say you do something and it is in good order, then you know no problem.
But hear what? You shouldn't file it unless it's in good order. Filing it just to be in time.
Compliant?
Yes. And that again, you know, is when we talk about the season and the window being open. We are usually using some metrics that really are just the born and the die in our imagination. The filing of your declaration is not for show. Your declaration is to show that you are in compliance with the law. And if you are in compliance with the law, it should be evident on the face of your declaration. You notice many people file the declaration and there's nothing, you don't see anybody being prosecuted or hear anything of it, because while the publication of the declaration is limited to the top people, all of the declarations are evaluated against the same principles.
That's correct.
So there's no need to publish your declaration or your wife's declaration because you are not of the level, I'm sorry, Pastor, but you're not at the level where the public need to be assured of your compliance. But all of the declarations are meant to show that public sector workers are compliant with the law as regards keeping their finances and their conduct to a level of integrity, that no corruption or improper gain is occurring or evident.
Right.
Because it's the evidence that the declaration contains. So you're not hearing that so-and-so was prosecuted or investigated, or maybe you're not hearing of it. And I would hazard a guess that if this was happening when the Integrity Commission filed their own reports, they would say that through our examination of statutory declarations, we have launched prosecution or investigations into 10 public servants or 20 or whatever.
They say that. They say that come out. Yeah. Yeah.
So you would know if persons lower in rank
yes
were running afoul of the law. So the fact that the chief man, the prime minister, file a declaration and it can't be published. He knows why it can't be published. For him to say that he has filed it and he don't know why the Integrity Commission, wouldn't you even inquire? Wouldn't you have your advisors and people
I know, why
sit
them
with
no-
it to
why them no
say,
gazette
what
nothing,
is the
boss?
problem? And I'm sure, I don't think the Integrity Commission is there looking over it and trying to discern from the paper what is amiss. They must be asking other questions. They must be saying, we're not able to reconcile this with that. Can we have some additional information on this or that? They must be conducting investigations to say, well, why doesn't this add up?
Yes, but that's how they do it. That's the work. That's why they're paid.
You know, so when I see the prime minister being reported as saying, I filed it and I don't know why they haven't published it, I just say, Lord, help us. That's what I say. I say, Lord, help us, because we need people of the boldness and the caliber to be direct, open, honest about what is happening. Certainly, from our perspective, we understand that persons must be given an opportunity to take remedial action in relation to whatever is happening.
In every area of your life.
In every area of your life.
God of mercy.
No condemnation. Perfect love cast out all
fear.
Fear. So we, from this position, we understand that that would be the next step. But surely,
It's 6 months now.
no more than 6 months. The one from last year, what are we? Aren't we like
It would be for
way
20.
behind?
Yeah, it's behind. You're behind. Because I want soon do again. It is.
So we say again that for our leaders and even for the country to move forward, we have to address these things in the right way. We can't be of the inclination of Saul, who says, well, I followed the instructions, but the people.
But the people there, the people there.
Yeah. The people then bring it. I am in compliance, but the people whom I lead took of the plunder, sheep and oxen, the best of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice to the Lord your God in Gilgal. This is Saul speaking to the prophet and explaining why this breach took place. All of us understand chain of command. A king at the head of his troop will cut the neck of anybody who breaks rank.
That's correct.
Yet, you had a king trying to explain that the people.
And the people them.
The people them.
People them.
And it continues to be so in this nation where our leaders blame us. They blame us.
One man did say we're ungovernable.
They say we're ungovernable. They say we're too bad behaving in all kinds of ways. And so, you know, it's kind of like what happens in spousal violence or domestic dispute. Look what you made me do. When they put their foot on our neck, they say it's because of us. We got to flip that script.
No, we got to change.
We have to change.
So with all of the things that are happening now, we see.
There's a headline this morning, Percy, which is not outside of what we're talking about. You touched it briefly.
You mean Madam?
Yes. Madam Johnson Smith wants the court to dump the lawsuit filed by a child of our diaspora who had the courage to put his own money to work to ask a lawyer to file an action in court. Very simple action. In fact, it's one of those actions that others have predicted that Johnson Smith won't allow it to go to trial because they will simply file the documents. Very simple thing.
Have they filed it?
No, they haven't. They are applying using government resources to.
No, she's using her own.
No, remember, you know, that is 3 defendants.
Okay.
The Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs are equally culpable in the breach. So there's Johnson Smith personally, and she has her own lawyer.
Right.
And there's Ministry of Finance and Ministry of and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Right.
So they're represented by the government lawyers. Now, a simple thing like, does the law say you need to file a report concerning this donation.
Let's give, yes.
The law says it. It says it clearly. There's no doubt that there's a requirement for these things to be done. Was it done? It was not done. It was not done. Can it still be done? No doubt, yes.
Okay.
Why wouldn't they just do it? Why is the government spending money for the Attorney General's office to enter court, and Mr. Cameron, whom I don't begrudge him the opportunity to do some legal work, but Chukwemeka Cameron is in court representing, oh no, he's representing the Foreign Affairs Minister. Sorry, Chuck. Hope you do a good job. But the government lawyers are in court applying to strike out the claim. And unless they're applying to strike it out on the basis that we've already done the filing, they should simply just acknowledge the truth of the situation and move on. And these are things that it's.
But you see, if
it's perplexing to me.
No, but help me here. You are the trained legal person. If you accept it as a gift, then there are implications which says, okay, the persons who have given this gift, how much sway do they have in the government?
Yes, there are implications for acknowledging that you formally that you accepted a gift, but they have already told us they accepted it. We never knew it was a gift. We were thinking that the government paid for it. And they said, no, private sector companies made the payments. Yes. So now, having confessed in the public domain that these expenses were carried by the private sector.
How much sway does those private sector individuals have?
Well, we have seen them enjoying their sway.
Okay. So
but the business of making the filing.
Yes. Yeah.
This is embarrassing for the government to be fighting a lawsuit of this nature
at this point
when it is calling on compliance with the very laws of the country.
And then
are they going to say it don't apply to us?
Of course it don't apply to me.
But we already know that they didn't think it applied because they didn't comply with it.
Right.
And then Ms. Johnson-Smith expressing confidence that the legal process will reveal the truth of the matter and will ultimately vindicate her.
What is the truth of the matter? So she get her money?
I have no idea what you mean by that.
The truth of the matter is that she get her money to go on
her caper.
And
she failed in her objective.
Yeah.
I have no. And then to emphasize that she believes in upholding the highest standards of transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct in her position as a public servant. But I'm sure she believes in it.
She believes in it, but if
belief and action
is a totally different thing, which is an integrity position.
This is like Saul again saying, I
believed in your tough times.
Yes, but the people.
But the people never do it.
Because you're going to hear now that maybe somebody else should have done the filing and didn't do it, or you're going to hear some crazy talk that just admit and accept the thing. It's an oversight. We never know. We never think it applied to us. Whatever the situation might be, we're already thinking it. Then there's no confession they can make now that would be a surprise to the people of Jamaica, because the people of Jamaica have already come to a conclusion on it.
They're done.
But I told you, this is the standard approach with our government lawyers, the Attorney General's chamber, the lawyers whom we pay with tax dollars.
That's why they go.
Their first step is to get things thrown out, throw a blanket over it. Silence it. Don't let people get to have their day in court or to say anything. So in October, an application to strike out the claim is to be heard. Yes.
So why so far?
I know you're provoking me.
May I ask why so far?
Maybe it's to give them time to file the documents, and so the claim could be withdrawn.
I'm saying why so far? If they no, why so far?
Yeah. But you
what
see,
about the claim with the police commission?
police commission. No, that one, that no report on that one yet.
Yeah.
But we could find the report. We could find out what is happening with it. We don't have to wait on the Gleaner to report on it, because the Gleaner does things based on its own agenda.
Oh, it certainly has an agenda.
Yeah.
As we talk about agenda, Rocky only being paid $10 million salary.
Yes, but please note that it's almost a 50% cut from what he was accustomed to. So that
So what I'm doing that for?
He's making. I look at him and I say to myself, if I had an opportunity to serve my country in some significant way, I know I would take a pay cut. Then there's no doubt. I mean, I've done advisory work, and I wasn't doing it because they could pay me nearly anything of the value that I was delivering, and the record is there to speak for that. I would do it. I would regard it an honor to serve my country, and I would take the reduced pay.
Ellen Davis White says Me's role does not totally overlap with cabinet secretary.
And I was wondering, why is the trade union, the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, why are they the ones making that statement? Why are they being quoted as saying that?
Because the cabinet secretary is a government position.
Yes, but why the trade unions?
I don't know. I'm trying to.
It's not being said by a legal analyst.
Yeah.
It's not been said by the PSOJ. It's not been said by even the Prime Minister's office. It's not been said by the Public Services Commission, which would have been it's being said by a trade unionist.
Trying to quiet them down?
I have no idea. I look at it, I know it's not I know it's not a worthwhile, noble reason why it is being commented on by the JCTU. And the JCTU looks very much like an organization that is being held hostage by government.
That's all right.
You see them being sent on this labor jaunt where they come back disrespecting the farm workers with their report of that all is well. And from time to time, I've been noticing that the government has the ability to get endorsements from the JCTU. It's not usually the case that the trade unions are endorsing government policies, because government seldom does anything that favors the position or the well-being of labor. We're not at that place yet where our people and the concerns of our people, the mass of our people, are at the heart of government planning and policy. We're not at that place yet. Mostly, the workers are the ones who have to make a sacrifice in order for government to pursue its agenda for this or that issue. That's usually the case.
Yeah. So
the people pay.
Always. So in terms of reference, there are 12 national initiatives. Montego Bay Perimeter Road Project, that's $279 million US. Don't forget that. The new Parliament building, the Downtown Kingston Redevelopment Project, the Digital Society Project, and the STEM schools. Those are.
I was thinking that the Prime Minister may have forgotten what he has given to Rocky Mead when he took on the new minister.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Yeah, I said, hold on.
So so you have a minister who's going to drive skills and digitization.
Yes.
So Rocky is going to take the STEM school project from him and the Digital Society project from him.
Oh, he's going to take it from him.
It must be.
For the new minister.
So what the minister going to be responsible for?
I hope she don't end up carrying Rocky's bag.
Yes.
May I say, though?
Yes.
May I say?
Yes.
The one power that Ambassador Plenipotentiary Mead has.
Yes.
Which I think if he has 13 or 12 areas of focus, those areas are window dressing for this one power that he has. Full powers to sign treaties or otherwise act on behalf of the country. That is his job.
That's wide enough.
That is his job. This is the man who is going to be signing agreements in dark rooms across the world that bind Jamaica to unspeakable things that we will just see people disappearing from amongst us, only to hear that, oh, if we hear it at all, there is some national security issue that has been signed off on by this gentleman who can travel without the cameras watching him. When the Prime Minister goes, you hear everything about when the Prime Minister goes.
When Rocky goes,
he goes by night and come back by night and nobody knows. This is why Rocky Mead has a job. That right there. Full powers to sign treaties or otherwise act on behalf of the country.
That was the work of ambassadors responding to the political directorate.
This one is the Prime Minister's ambassador in his pocket, the plenipotentiary ambassador, who can be sent and...
Rocky borrowed jet from so go sign this and deal with this for me. Because I can't take the glare of what is happening.
And you're going to find that they're all national security agreements that won't see the light of day. You and I won't live long enough to get that in any access to information process.
Because remember, as you go, it's 8 o'clock. This same government was pushing that cabinet. Remember that?
Yeah, 70 years.
No, they wanted to move to 99 years.
Oh dear, I was stuck at 70.
Yes, man, they wanted to move that you could have access to cabinet proceeding. They want to push it back. So I wonder what it is they want to hide from the public. Because in the States, where a lot of information has come out because of COVID, the guy said they've gotten this, but you can't release the data. Yeah. Somebody said, no, man. And that is how you've been released. And it's been revealed that, hold on, some of the data, it doesn't work.
But we thank God because in his mercy, he put a conscience and a heart into us, and he says, I will write my law on their hearts. He has given us a new heart. The people of this age have a new heart. It is a heart that cannot be completely bought out by man. That's the heart that we have. It is a heart that will allow the right person who sees a document and realizes that the nation has been sold for peanuts. That person will put it out. Somehow it's going to get out there. And the people who God has set to be a part of the release of this nation will have the material they need to move. But you see, it is a hand-in-hand exercise. No one man can do it by himself or no one woman. We have to move together in unity.
Amen.
Enough said. 8:02, we're going to take our break, and then when we come back, we open the lines.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. 2 Russian MPs have warned there'll be further attacks on their country following an early morning drone strike, the biggest since Russia invaded Ukraine. A wealthy area of Moscow was targeted, leaving 2 people injured. Our correspondent Paul Adams has been following developments.
This does appear to have involved a number of drones. We don't know how many, at least 8. Some reports suggest many more. There's a lively debate going on about the type of drone that was used. We're talking about a target that is, around 500 kilometers from Ukraine. It is within range of some of the munitions that the Ukrainians have. 17 attacks on Kiev this month alone. And I think there is a view that this is a case of Ukraine giving Moscow a taste of its own medicine.
Meanwhile, Ukraine now says 4 people have been killed in the past day from Russian drone strikes. Officials said air defense systems destroyed many of the drones, but one person was killed when debris hit a residential building in Kiev overnight. 34 people were injured, including 2 children. The trial begins shortly of a man accused of carrying out the deadliest attack on the Jewish community in US history. Robert Bowers is charged with 63 separate counts, including hate crimes, for which he could face the death penalty. This report from Gary O'Donoghue.
Robert Bowers stands accused of using an assault rifle and 3 semi-automatic handguns to murder 11 people and injure 7 more during Sabbath services in 2018. Prosecutors will argue that Bowers yelled anti-Semitic, hate-filled slogans as he carried out the killings. The defence has tried to negotiate a deal, offering a guilty plea in return for life without parole. But this has been rejected by federal prosecutors. The trial comes against a background of rising anti-Semitism in America, with more incidents last year than any other on record.
The European Union has threatened to take action against Poland over a new law it's just passed, which allows it to ban people from standing for public office. Adam Easton reports.
The new governing party law will establish a parliamentary commission to investigate Russian influence on senior officials. Governing party MPs will have a majority on the commission that will have the power to act as both prosecutor and judge, issuing up to 10-year bans from public office on anyone found guilty of acting against Polish interests. Poland's opposition say the plan is unconstitutional and will be used to attack its leaders during the upcoming election campaign, including Donald Tusk, the head of the main opposition party. As Prime Minister between 2007 and 2014, Mr. Tusk extended deals to buy Russian oil and gas, something the Commission wants to investigate.
BBC News. Denmark says it will triple spending on defence over the next decade, devoting more than $20 billion to its military. Denmark was a founding member of the NATO alliance, but had allowed its defence budget to drop after the end of the Cold War. The invasion of Ukraine has prompted many European countries to increase military spending. Ethnic Serb protesters are gathering for a second day in the Kosovan town of Zvečan, where they've been involved in violent clashes with NATO peacekeepers. Tensions centre around the installation of an ethnic Albanian mayor. He won power after Serbs boycotted local elections. The French European Affairs Minister is Laurence Boone.
Well, we are very concerned, as you know, and we have called on all parties, including Kosovo, to actually calm down and get back to the agreement. We need people sitting around the table and not fighting across the border.
A Chinese rocket has taken 3 astronauts to its Tiangong space station. Among them was the first Chinese civilian to go into space. Gui Haichao, a university professor, will carry out scientific experiments during a 5-month stay. The Coast Guard in Malaysia is questioning the crew of a Chinese-registered vessel suspected of looting 2 British shipwrecks from the Second World War. The Malaysian authorities detained the cargo vessel on Sunday for illegally dropping anchor at the site in the South China Sea. A search of the ship found ammunition thought to have come from the 2 British wrecks, which Japanese forces sank in 1941. Such shipwrecks are often targeted by scavengers who want the low-radiation steel on board. The UK's Ministry of Defence has described the alleged raid as a desecration of maritime war graves. The award-winning Austrian actor Peter Simonischek, best known for the 2016 movie Tony Erdmann, has died at the age of 76. World News from the BBC.
Grandpa, where you going?
Let's see, I have business done by JPS and I need Steven to take me. I'm going to see what I owe and pay.
You don't have to leave the yard, Pops. Just call 888-225-5577.
You mean to tell me, say, me not have to wait in line anymore?
Grandpa, I registered your account. So when you call from this phone, JPS already knows you and they just give you information.
Look where me live, Fissy. Thank God for you young people.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope. as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Half a tree. One already, two and three. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Hello. Pastor Howard Palmer here, coming to you from New York City this and every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's right, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. this and every Saturday morning, right here on Best 100 FM. Don't you miss it?
Hey everybody, Apostle Prophetess Dr. Juliet Fagan here. I've got some good news for you. Many of you have asked and God has delivered. Guess what? Join me this and every Sunday. That's right, this and every Sunday evening, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Catch me right here on Best 100 FM. That's right. On Friend of a Wounded Heart, an extension of Vision Miracle Church of God. And so on behalf of Bishop Leroy, myself, and all the brethren of Vision Miracle Church of God, I'm looking forward to having you Sundays, 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. right here on Best FM 100.
There will be days when you're too tired to move, to drive, but you think you have to because your vehicle won't wash itself, right? But no, you don't have to visit a car wash. 123 Mobile Car Wash will come straight to you. Yes, you heard right. 123 Mobile Car Wash is offering services in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine. We shampoo and detail cars, trucks, offices, and more. No job too small. Call us at 876-631-3400. 123 Mobile Car Wash. We come to you.
Get inspired when you tune into Vent, brought to you by Via Express Couriers. This and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Best 100 FM. Hear from some of Jamaica's top entrepreneurs. Get updates on deals and upcoming events, tips for business, and pure vibes. Vent, a safe space for discussion. Make a chat, no man.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years, compellingly defined, educate, and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. Before we go into taking your calls, I just wanted to share with you just a little voice clip of what the Prime Minister actually said in relation to this matter of his his declarations. I picked it up online. You can hunt it down too, and it's actually taken from a press briefing on the 24th of May, and I found it on, I think it was Nationwide that did a tweet. And here's the Prime Minister. You ready with it, Lloydie? Okay.
It is also of a concern to me. I'm not aware of the reasons. I have been written to with a letter basically with the same content of the tweet. So I am not in a position to say what the issue of the Integrity Commission is. However, just to be clear, the Integrity Commission has a duty to thoroughly investigate and ensure that whatever is presented to them is verified and validated. So I suspect that they are in that process, and I can only await the completion of that process.
All right. So that is our Prime Minister speaking on the 24th of May. And I listened carefully to what he said. So I am going to just make sure I am faithful to what he said. He doesn't say, I don't know what the issue is. He says, I am not in a position to say what the issue is. Now, I mean, that can mean he knows what it is, but he can't say it for one reason or another. Self-incrimination being at the top of the list, or, self-incrimination, really. Because when you are speaking the truth, you're not concerned about incriminating yourself. But if you may say something that could later on be used against you, then silence is the best course. So he says, I am not in a position to say. Not being in a position to say something is very different from not knowing what ought to be said. What do you think, Percy?
That's true.
Yeah.
But Mark Twain says, you speak the truth, you don't have to remember what you said. So he's been very clear. He don't want to say that we say him did say.
Yes. And of course, he has made the point that he's waiting. They've written to him. I can tell you that, do you know when that ugly report came out in the paper about people looking for me? You know what I did the same day?
You go look for the people.
I went to find the people who were looking for me.
looking for you.
Let's open the lines.
Lights are now open.
Yes.
Good morning.
876-619-1508. Good morning.
Good morning. Let's open the lines.
We're hearing, you need to turn off the radio,
please, sir. Morning. Welcome to the morning connection.
Yeah, what I'm saying about the Prime Minister is follow up. You must try, you people don't diagnose what's going on, man. And intelligent people, it's what's going on.
What do you think is going on? You tell us what you think is going on, sir.
You know, she said the man could see for tough time. I have a plan for you for the whole of the country, man, because one term more doing the same, and I'm saying the same have all the cat put on. When them come out of office.
Okay.
Look on Canal Regional Hospital. $14 billion. And finish. Can you imagine that, man? The problem of man, if you know them things, man, I'm going with long time now.
Okay.
Yeah, that.
All right.
So you have diagnosed it. What should the reaction of people be? Do we just sit and accept it, or what do you think we can do?
To get up and go, and take up colors and mash up the country. But if you don't work a sweet argument, now,
to mash up the country,
so I have a good man. Okay. I was glad to say a man, so I call that time come now.
Okay.
Yeah,
so, but you know, it takes so long to build something, and you can
destroy it in a day.
So you're saying mash up everything and then rebuild? Is that what you're?
Yeah, man, I rebuild, man. Start from foundation and come back, man.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I go, man, up. Let me say I look on the other big man. Look on Canal within the hospital. $14 million. Eh? Come on, man. You don't know what talk, man. Look for the something, man. Believe me, man.
All right, sir.
It's a sweet argument that work, man.
All right, sir.
Yeah, for the something, man. When I fire a well go, man, now old man, now 72-year-old.
Okay.
When you ready to talk about my cutlass to Marcus Garvey, say, no, I'm going there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, sir.
You know that we're not in agreement with you on the take up cutlass part.
So we are with you in the system.
You can change a system peacefully.
Oh, we want to the system.
The violence that is required to change the system has already taken place. We now we have to do something of a different order. I'm not with you. You say you're 72. I'm not 72. But I know I don't want to be rebuilding what I didn't have to destroy.
You break it up, you know. What do you don't want?
No, I said I don't want to be rebuilding something that I didn't have to destroy. Some things can't be rebuilt. And some things you can't, once you destroy it, that's it.
You know, we can't.
Like this, like the guy come from Spanish town and I go like here. Yeah, when me go, sometimes the pressure hurt me, me think more than thing I know.
Yeah, but that's because the solution that you're seeing is one that going to hurt you and it going to hurt others. What I bear in mind all the time is that the people.
One little sweet note one coming up call him, the island guy, when call him, nice very far. You not take away the whole of money with the farm. Oh, sometimes never hurt me. I have a bar on it.
All right then.
All right, we're trying to find a way that going to minimize the headache.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. You know,
The call is gone? I'm not hearing. Okay.
it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
that's the line that we have to be ever mindful of.
Yeah.
But if we don't have the capacity to think past the headache, we got
People going to take up my shit and we need to speak against that. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Miss Minette. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, my brother.
Lawrence and Pastor Percy.
Good morning, Fortis. How are you?
Why I take one for the team and not let me down? Why, Miss Minette?
What did you take for
Why
the
I take one for the team?
Oh, you talk about
I put myself out there. I take one for the team.
You mean Miss Panton?
All is nothing.
You know, I gotta remember that it's Fortis I'm talking to. So
Why, Miss Minette? Why?
Yes, yeah. You see, no honor amongst thieves.
Yeah, when I put me in a place where you never put me.
This don't feel like the small island living.
No, this is not no way at all. No way at all anything, don't it?
Yes. I encourage you to speak truth and let the chips fall where they may.
We're ready to speak truth. I tell you, so the pot a boil and somebody has sit down on it and it just it's ready for infuse now.
Let me tell you, that's not a pretty picture you're painting there, you know, a boiling pot and somebody sitting on it.
But it's not one man, it's not two, it's a whole heap of them sit down on it. And one little person take
the rap.
I mean, take the rap and say, all right, he's after paying off on it. So, when my case do or not do, because them things said it would be a 9-day talk.
Yes.
And it's not a 9-day talk.
Not.
And now it's boiling and me have to pretend say me I walk with walker.
The wheelchair.
Me ask for some fun because when put me in a place where there.
Yes, trying to make the jail into a spa.
Yeah, and I'm not coming forward, so it look like me have to just chat and make the chips fall with them.
Where they may. I encourage that.
Yeah, well, I think so too.
You will find peace. You know, they say you will know the truth and the truth will set you free.
Yeah.
You will find your liberation in truth.
Well, the person ready to make the truth set free now. Them start a whole lot of people going on guitar now, you know.
What that mean now? You tell me. Or redemption song?
Or redemption song?
Which one?
Fred.
Oh, Fred.
Yeah. You see, it's a sad day in Jamaica. Sad day. I hear them say, it's like when in a church, them say a church without elders is a dying church. And a church with elders is a dying church, and a church with young people. I forget how it goes, but I know puzzle.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If a church that has no elders is not stable, and a church that has too much young people not going anywhere, because they need the elders and the young people together to move it.
Happening.
Yeah.
Mr. Flight Green. Miss Minute, you can imagine on a no movements there, when everybody there them yard, and you want to go around the side, you can't go. And these people, good morning, Miss Babs Grange, how are you? That lady is working very hard. Yeah, and you on a day in a place, a drink and a heat and a wine and a bubble, and laugh after the people them. Laughing at the people them.
So you don't believe he has repented of that conduct? Because we were speaking about the heart.
You want me to tell you something?
Yes.
I'm going to give some look-alike. Mr. Andrew Holness, and I'm not call him honorable. Mr. Andrew Holness, the Minister of Tourism, Flight Green, No fly green. Nesta Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
You have next one. Just look at the features and see if them have a look-alike features.
Oh, and you say that it's a look of unrepentance.
I don't want to hold up the line, but it's a sad day in Jamaica.
Yeah.
There's more to come.
Okay.
There's more to come. You hear them say chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter, yeah. That means when they say chapter, that means it to be continued.
To be continued.
Be continued.
All right, brother. Call us again. Yeah, I know it's the one line, so I thank you for your discretion.
It's not pretty. It not look good.
All right.
It won't look good. And the little people them out there that keep their order, while other people that jump and gyrate, it not look good.
Okay.
And all these money that is spending, and all these money that drop through the crack, and all the teachers them have work so hard. Teachers make prime ministers. Teachers make me and you, if we go to school and we don't want to learn our business that. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
God bless this FM.
All right, my brother. Bless
Good
you.
morning.
Good morning.
Hmm.
Yeah, that line about the plan to get guitar, I think that one is a classic. I think that one
I
there.
thought they were singing Redemption song. My favorite guitar.
You know, I tell you something. I was fortunate to have gone to a camp.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was your...
Yeah, no, it was a
your public
16-year-old.
singing.
Yeah, man. Mhm.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Percy, Miss Minute. Yeah, you know, listen good.
Mm-hmm.
When a man just don't talk before the man will just come off on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
The cut last month.
Yeah, he not talk with nothing.
Okay.
He's a fool. If he not cultivate him senses, he won't talk like one talk.
All right, be gentle with him now.
Gentle with him,
Remember,
yeah.
he said when him consider the headache that come with it will cause a man to want to pick up his machete. Trust me.
There's no need for that. Hear me now.
Mm.
Everybody can come together.
Yes.
I'm speak about that all the way. Everybody in the 14 parish come together. Make a peaceful demonstration. No block the road. No create the war. Just a peaceful demonstration right around the 14 parish of Jamaica. Make everything stand still. Make the government see what take place. You understand? If a pin drop, any which part in them in hear it. Right?
Yeah.
The soldier and the police, they're right around the 14 parish under them duty. Peaceful demonstration, they are a week or two. Make the government opposition, they say the people them serious for the condition of what take place in Jamaica. Aside to go. But when a man that come talk about cutlass, I wake him, I wake up the dead. And not deal with nothing.
Okay.
I thank you for your outright rejection of any talk of violence because we feel the same way. What he says, though, shouldn't prevent us from acknowledging that when people come together and launch their peaceful protest, as you have mentioned, there's an energy that comes with any kind of protest that we have to be prepared, and persons must know that the tear gas might come. The police will come with their riot shields and their batons if you're lucky. It's not usually the peaceful protesters who start the trouble.
Yes, but look at them.
Yes.
Look at them. We not speak of no tear gas, nothing. The people them everybody just come together.
Yeah, but so you're saying, are you saying that your expectation is that Jamaicans could come out in numbers and the police don't show up under instructions to clear the streets?
No, look here.
Yes.
What I'm saying, listen me good, what I'm saying, the police and the soldiers them do their work in the 14 parish.
Yes.
You understand? This peaceful demonstration don't call for no war. It just everybody just demonstrate peacefully. Make it last a week or two. Them no you no gunshot of fire. No man not draw no machete, no man not draw no knife, not at all. Peaceful demonstration. people are shed tears. You understand?
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
And just because
Let the government feel the pain of where the people them and where the people them feel. Let the government say the people them serious. The condition in the country. We're not talking about the war business. It can be done.
I think it can be done. It can be done. An army has marched around a city
silently
and took the city.
And then they finally shouted and the thing came down.
And they took the city.
Everybody just come out. Who want to work, who don't want to work and join it. That's all. You understand?
Thank you, sir.
The two of them do them work. Nobody now.
Listen, man, I love it that someone other than Percy and myself are speaking so stridently of the ways in which people can peacefully demonstrate their rejection of what they know to be wrong. So, thank you.
Look, no, man, if people just use them common sense, man, things can work.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
I like that. Appreciate it.
Elder, thanks very much. And me up on our 8:30 break.
Already?
Yeah, but that I love that call. I remember in Ukraine.
We're taking the break.
Yes, it's 8:30.
It's 8:29.
Yeah.
8:30. We'll be right back.
Yes, 8:30.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back to the caller on the line. Thank you for holding.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Enlighten. How are you?
You're coming over so
low?
Yeah, low a while ago, yeah.
A very interesting caller there, the gentleman with the cutlass. And while I do not condone violence, and I do not think that by nature I am not a violent individual, and it's very sad. You know, if come to the stage that people have to think that way, but in history, no change has come about in any country, any station peaceful. None. You can look up if you can tell me one situation or one in one country where the oppressed have gotten justice by peaceful means. Nowhere that has taken place.
Well, you know, it's why during the break I was saying to Percy that the people will start out peacefully, even as students when we started out on the road. The police came with the tear gas and then after that you can't control it. We the people who want to ignite change must be prepared to respond to whatever comes, but we have to go about it the right way. So I agree with you. I mean, I won't name the country now, but there was the nation who started off with a social media campaign that led to the rejection of the leader, and it descended into violence. It's even with Jericho, we said that God tell the people march around Jericho 7 times, then shout. When the wall fell, fighting ensued.
Because you
know that, right?
You see, those who have power, you know, people who have power don't give up power just like that, you know. So what does the conscience of the society now need to start to put some pressure on the leaders to let them realize their folly before it turns to something that we don't want to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand what you're saying. I know that when you push for change like that, you are going to meet resistance. And even if you don't start with violence, violence will arise in the course of whatever it is you're doing. And it is the severity and the extent of it, the duration of it, that you want to minimize.
Yeah, because you see, what they will do when you're peaceful, you know, they will come with some token, you know, concession.
Yes.
And then things are gonna go right back to where it was.
Yes, then they dig out your right eye.
Yeah, because remember, prime example of the march on Washington. If you listen to Malcolm X, you know, the march on Washington, you know, if it had gone the right way, the way that Malcolm X and those wanted to go, you know, they would have solved it. The racism in America right now, you know, they would have solved it, you know. But because it turned the other cheek, came into the thing that boy, if a man back, they must turn the other cheek, and the oppressors. The oppressors tell you that, but they're not doing that. They don't live by that rule.
Well, listen. So I can't agree with you that had it gone the way the initiators intended, it would have solved the problem. I can't agree with you. I can't go that far with you. And I'm also not going to agree with you that the idea of turning the other cheek doesn't work, or that it is wrong. Turning the other cheek doesn't exist in a vacuum. Turning the other cheek is part of a whole system of engaging the divine assistance and methods of God to solve social problems. It begins with love. It means following through with the respect and the care and the honor that the people deserve and require. It's not just turning the other cheek like you're some idiot.
But you know, the turning the other cheek is a response, as we talk about in obedience, because these same people turn the other cheek were the person who changed the very ruthless reality that was Roman Empire, turn it around. in terms of that concept. And she points out a very important thing is that you are walking in direct obedience to what the diviner says, and then you are now your situation. Because if man heart not changing, a brethren,
we're back to the same. We're back to the same.
And that's what I'm saying. So,
all right, why you believe we do have a nuclear war right now?
Because
if America alone had nuclear weapon and Russia didn't have nuclear weapon, you know, they might attack them all, you know. But because Russia know that if I fire missile over America, America is capable to fire one over my place and kill up. If you're not strong, man,
but also man, they've done it already.
If you are not prepared to take a man's life, if a man that wants to take your life, if you're not prepared to take his life, you always want to take your life, you know.
He'll pluck out your right eye.
You have to prepare to take his life just as well as prepare to take your life.
Yeah, but now you're waking me up in the time because in terms of the spiritual, because you are saying even when Gandhi, remember what Gandhi did in terms of pushing for independence for India? You know what he did is, and that is what Martin Luther King adopted from him.
Yeah, well, what is the result of Martin Luther King doing what he did? America, black people are still under racism in America right now, man.
Yeah, but if
black people have been shot down same way.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, but
more would be dying.
More would be dying. But let me say something.
But sometimes you have to die to change the station.
No, but enlighten.
If the white people in America realize that the black people have the capability of killing them just like how them can kill them, you know. They will have to come to their senses and say, no, we can't live like this, you know.
Yeah, but
we cannot live like this. We have to change the system that everybody is equal because the man who want to kill us just like we want to kill them.
All right. So, okay. So now, this is a very interesting discussion. It's just that we want somebody else to call in and to contribute to it. But I'd say to you, though, you know, my personal thing is having been involved in a lot of things in terms of bringing about real change that is lasting. I go back to it, and you have said it. If man heart not change, I'm going to continue to perpetuate the system that continues to lead to oppression of his brother, man.
And it's just a question of who's at the bottom and who's at the top.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute, just a minute before I leave.
Yeah.
I'm calling on the PSOJ, the churches.
Yes.
All influential people in this country.
Yes.
To get together around a round table. Leave out the politicians for a little while. If they want to live in this country and this enlightened self-interest, get around the table, talk to each other and approach the government and tell them to take the pressure off the people, because they don't take the pressure off the people. Our life, our system, our life is in danger.
Okay, that's true.
They need to do something like that. Because if the people get angry, you know, the couple of police and the couple of soldiers can't control them.
Can't withstand
it. And that is why the first caller is the way that he's at. Him feeling the pressure and him said the only way I can respond is to strike back. So
we people are like that. People.
I know. We know that. We understand that, you know. And some man just as they said, just waiting to rise. Anyway, I'll leave
all right. Okay. All right. Yeah, man. Take care.
Okay. We're getting closer to the heart of the matter because, you see, I feel that headache that the callers speak of.
Yes.
I get that headache. There are days when you sit and make a list of the things that ought not to have been.
Yes.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Rusty.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning, Rusty.
How are you, sir? We're doing well here.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Turn off the radio,
Turn off the radio, brother, man.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I want to ask a question. Practical and theory, which one more effective?
Both of them.
Hello?
Turn off your radio.
Turn off your radio. Are we calling us?
Let's ask a question. Out of practical and theory, which one more effective?
They don't work separately. They work together.
You turn off the radio. Turn off the radio.
Which one more effective?
I am giving you my answer. They do not work separately. They work
They're not
together.
mutually exclusive.
The practical cannot come in existence without the theory.
Theory is what you think in your mind.
Yes, but you can't.
Actual thing. Let me tell you something.
So you can move without thinking? You can move without thinking? What can you do without thinking?
Yeah, man, I can move without theory, man. Practically, the actual
No, no, no. You said theory is what you think.
When Castro go on the scene, everybody thinks who is with me, giant, me come now. Then I will take tomorrow. And that's the one now. Because when I talk about police also, you know, 20,000 police also, you have to 2 million people.
Yeah, that's what our brother was saying.
So, we're ready now, Mr. Time come. Have a good day.
All right.
Interesting.
We're still hearing. Release the line? Yeah. You know, I hope others are listening.
Mm-hmm.
Because rightly understanding the mood of the people, critical.
Yes.
And these are not, we can't talk people out of this.
Good morning. Morning, welcome.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead.
Morning.
How are you?
How you guys doing, man?
Corey?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Corey, what you saying?
I'm here, man. Trying to get you for last week.
Why Corey's one line of work?
Yeah, I realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you're here.
So what's on your mind?
Well, the justice system. I have a problem with the justice system. I'm particularly in the traffic court.
Mm-hmm. We're listening in, Corey. Go ahead. We're listening.
You hear me?
Yeah, man. We're hearing you. You just speak. You keep speaking.
Yeah, man. I've learned that you cannot plead not guilty in the traffic court.
Why you say that? Because I pleaded not guilty and them had to throw out my case.
Yeah, but it's the time.
For example, there was a young man in the traffic court. The police brought him in someone. And he pled not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
The judge charged him $250,000 bail cash. And told him that his fine can go up to $500,000 and that he must not leave his lawyer when he's coming.
What was the offense?
What's the offense you want?
I'm not sure. I think it was some transport authority someone that he needs court for.
All right, so hear this now. If you're going to comment on how a judge handles something in court and it's necessary to get a better understanding of what the offense is and so on, because judges don't just make things up. Some of them might try to, but especially in a court where there are eyes and ears and people will come and repeat what is said. If a judge is saying this is the fine and it means there's an offense, there's something happening it's best that you have that information before you start a commentary on it, because amidst the many, many things that are happening, we will not be, misinforming or exciting certain passions in an already stressful situation. When you go to court, it's good, and that's why so many lawyers are around. It's good to have a sense of where it can go if the very worst were to happen.
But I have had an issue now because I had an outstanding transport authority. Someone.
Yes.
I have been trying to find out about this someone for a while now.
Yes.
I could not get anywhere with it. Or the police pulled me over there, they called Ellison when I found out that I had a warrant.
Yes.
So I was taken to court.
Yes. So remember this now, Corey, because you're on the roads. If you get a summons to be in court and you don't go, a warrant will be issued. Just assume that a warrant is issued. The very first moment, let's say you miss court today, Tomorrow, present yourself at the court. Say, I was not able to come yesterday, whatever, I was sick, whatever the cause might be. And this is where they have a phrase, throw yourself on the mercy of the court. People who don't show up to court, warrant for arrest.
But,
The judge might state.
I was trying to get someone where how would I be able to find out or deal with issue like that.
But that's what I'm telling you. No, that's what I'm saying to you. You don't need, I'm giving you this wisdom now. If you miss a court date in a criminal court, assume that a warrant has been issued. Present yourself to the court the very next day. The clerk of court will tell you what to do. That's the only recourse you have. You miss a court date, you go as soon. Don't even go to the police station or to Ellison Road it is the judge who issues the warrant. It is the judge who can state. It is the judge who or the court staff who can find it, call somebody. Pretend that you are like King David, you're gone mad. Don't leave. I miss court date. So and so was happening. I broke down on the road, or another policeman had me, or whatever your situation might be. I missed the date. I come. They will find it. Just remember that. You don't have to be up and down trying to find out what happened to it. Only one thing can happen to it. You don't show up, they call your name, you don't show up, warrant. That's the only power they have. And they don't even have to go and hunt you down to execute the warrant. When they catch you,
that's what happens.
Mm-hmm. In a connected age now where they can go on their computer or call.
No, go on their phone.
Go on their phone. They will find you.
Apparently the bench ones are not on the phone. Though.
Well, so I'm saying to you, when you miss a court date, there's only one power the judge has. Issue a warrant. Anytime they find you, the warrant is there. And warrants don't die. Warrant and taxes apparently live forever.
They live forever.
Warrants don't die.
The government is making a lot of money over this new stuff.
Well, you see the salaries they pay for themselves, they have for themselves, they need a lot of money. Having told you, are you okay?
Yeah.
All right, because you're not calling us from jail.
You're not calling us the one calling you from jail.
Yeah.
Man, there was one Friday, man.
Okay.
Yeah, so just remember, if you miss a court date, and anyone who's listening, you have a traffic ticket, there's a date on it, you didn't get to pay the money, you've missed the date, present yourself to the traffic court to avoid the discomfort and the
summons
and the risk of, and have a good reason why you missed the court date. Judges are human beings. They have discretion. They will apply it in your favor if they don't have to hunt you down and the police haul you in when they are trying to get revenue on a Friday evening. Yes, it comes with a high cost. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
but you know, that's part of the social contract. We as citizens, we agree that these procedures are necessary to maintain order. When we ourselves run afoul of it, we take the quickest step that we can to bring things in alignment.
Back in alignment, yeah.
Anything else, Corey? Because we're pushing on one wing.
Well, I mean, the recent reshuffling of the cabinet, I really don't think it was a reshuffle.
Well, you gotta be sympathetic to the man. How much can he accomplish with what he has?
I mean, you have a big pool, you have 49 MPs. 48 MPs.
Well, I thought you were going to say I have 3 million people. Because this business of confining yourself to friend and company will always create a challenge for any prime minister.
That's why we need constitutional reform and not a what we call it, a circus of constitutional reform.
A whitewash.
We need to be out there. Again, they call open up the churches. Everybody, we're talking about this. What does our new constitution need to look like? Taking into consideration that in 2011, the Charter of Bills and Rights, after years of consultation, came to being, and I don't see anything wrong with that in basic essence. Do you? The way that it is formulated.
Oh, that's for me or for Corey?
For my learn.
Oh, you have to ask it again. You saw that I was reading.
Releasing the Corey. I release it, all right?
We release the line.
All right, I release the line.
Stay strong, my brother.
Yeah.
What did you ask me, Percy?
I'm saying after 2011, the charter, the addition
Yes,
to the
fundamental rights and freedoms.
do we need to shift that again, go through that process, or is it after going through that process of consultation, if we are good?
No, we have to do consultation for the other things that are to be changed. Good morning and welcome.
Oh, blessed morning.
Ah, my priest.
How are you, my friend?
I'm fine. Listen, I told you one day that we need an revolution.
No,
the evolution, revolution. All right. So what? Tell me the different sides to it now.
Just the first thing, listen, we come like we are the fuel. It is something we are going. We are the fuel for the people.
Mm-hmm.
We see how big it is, the behemoth is. If it not enough fuel, it can run.
It can run.
Okay, true.
So if we just come out of the setting, because we first thing we carry the money go give them, poor people make them rich. We carry every day carry money go give them. We do these things, not holding us down, Empress. We are holding up. Not now holding down. We are holding up. And if we just let go half right, it drop and it won.
Okay.
So I'd like what you're saying. And our only point of divergence now is that the thing we're fighting against is within us.
True.
So it letting go of it is letting go of self.
No. I'm not talking about the settings, this democracy setting and work repeal and all of these things, all these settings.
Yeah,
when the president say he love the POCJ and these others, we sit down but them and the politicians them in a one, they are them in a one restaurant, them are the one thing, and the one something. They're not separate and apart. I want something.
So, but aren't we part of those people? Aren't those people Jamaicans?
Yeah, but no. Wait. I'm glad you went there. Because when you take it, the ethnicity of these, some of these who call themselves Jamaicans who make the most money in this place, when the bag full, you know, see Jamaica Ghana for them country of origin ethnicity. You know, see here.
Some
when the bag full, just like tourism something.
But that doesn't depend on ethnicity. But that does not depend on ethnicity. There are African colored people to the bone who do the same.
True, the Oreo then. I know that, but I'm just saying.
The Oreos there.
But I can't tell them different.
We know the difference.
To me, we're one.
That's what I'm saying.
We are one, and that's why I said to you that.
Yeah, but Pastor, as I learned man, the scriptural learned man, you know, say Barabbas, I mean, when they're still alive, Judas, but I'm here, I'm still alive.
Yeah, and the spirit of Judas is not ethnically bound.
No, I know I'm saying, but you can't know what Judas. Empress, there are niggers in every race. And every race no nigger. Yes, and there are niggers in every race. I'm just saying the people them who is a setting, you know, is a something where
it's a mindset. It's a mindset.
Yeah. It's like you know the game Monopoly.
Yes.
Then Monopoly, them a play with people's lives, and Monopoly a play, you know, all you have to come out of the game, come out, go and sit down, start run some boat, and start sing some spiritual, and start come to one another, run boat with one another, and cook for one another, and just sit down at them.
All right, so we are in agreement that there is a change of kingdoms that need to take place. So you say step out of that game, but there's always a game. You step out of that game, you create your own. Whatever it is a shift.
Yeah, but we have a game. We have a game. You know?
Right. Good. So we are seeking now to turn it upside down, where the rules of our game will be the rules that dominate the field of play.
Yes.
That's the mission we're on. But one of the things that I certainly feel strongly, I am not ready to give up on those who are in the wrong game because I feel that I can bring them into my game. Those who are willing. So a part of my game is to give an opportunity to those who are playing a different game from me to make a change. No, it doesn't mean that all of them will, and I understand that. But my game and my team will not survive unless I make that offer and create that opportunity.
For everybody to join the game. To say that game that is being played over there is not good for all of you. It's good for some of you. So let us shift the game and play a game that everybody can benefit from playing this game.
And then there's a point when the door will be shut.
We need as I told you before, in Africa, where this white man come to the village and offer trinkets, like all the PNP and TLP offer trinkets, and take the people, the power and the people them. Offer trinkets. And say anyone who come and put a gift or at the across the field at the root of the tree, and say anyone who reach first win prize. And this youth now, I guess, he was harassed amongst them. He said to them, say, all right, you will put hands together and walk to the prize, so the whole away wait.
Yes, there's an Asian equivalent. Ubuntu. There's an Asian equivalent of that same story.
Yeah,
hand in hand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we did. You know, you see guns and bullets and everything that can't work because first of all, no black man, because when I living in the United States, I'm 19th century, I'm used to asking the question, say, you don't know which part of them there? You can't care how much gun you have. If you don't have no bullet, can't work.
Have to throw the gun. But we start from a disadvantage of being an unarmed country.
No, we with Christ and his teaching and the Lord of Moses. We are armed. I just really want to use it.
Yeah, well, that weaponry I can relate to, and that is one that everybody have.
Yeah.
So part of our mission, of course, is to do the weapons training. You must know what is in your armory and know how to use it.
Yeah.
All
right.
Yeah.
All right, my priest. 9 o'clock.
That's it.
Thank you.
The gun is an enemy.
You're simply the best. You're simply the best.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Half a tree, one and drive. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
You hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try and call them, guys, trust me.
What a relief.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama, in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
Careless and love more, 'cause you open up the door.
Live, camera, volume. Live It Up Fridays on Best 100 FM, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibi Lion, each and every Friday, giving you the better vibes heard everywhere.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Yes.
Hello.
Good morning, caller. How are you?
Yes, good morning.
How are you, my dear lady? This sounds like a new voice. How are you?
Yes, it is very new. Yes, sir. Like everybody else, I am concerned about the fact that these persons have given themselves this unfair and iniquitous increase.
The massive increase.
My humble proposal is that particularly, they do deserve an increase, but particularly the ministers, who I think probably something to do.
Yeah.
It should be about, I think, 50% over a 2-year period.
at 25% in the first year, and then we put in place some kind of job description or accountability, and they get another 25%. I don't think it should be anything more. But that thing leads me now to try and figure out this job description.
Yes.
What exactly do these people do? Apart from the ministers, the rest of them who sit in parliament, some of them don't really have to go early, and they can leave early too. And they don't have to prepare anything. They don't know anything about drafting any law or anything. And whatever is happening in a community and you ask about it is really the councillors, whether it be the light, the road, the water, what have you. So what exactly is this job description? I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, it actually is, the job description is the easier part because many established democracies exist in which there are copious details of what representation of the people amounts to. You represent them in relation to bringing opportunities and growth in some specific areas, and different constituencies can even narrow it down to things that come out of consultation with the people that speak to the transformation they are looking for in their communities. And these are things which the MP should himself be leading, because he ought to have gone in on a mandate with a manifesto that says these are the things that I want to do for you. So it's not as challenging. It's challenging to think of it in a vacuum because we are accustomed to low performance and we are accustomed to an absence of any kind of concrete plan coming from these persons when they are taking office. But let me tell you, I could write a job description for my MP.
And you know, but even as Minette has said that, a major thing which I think has affected us is a lack of a vision that can be translated into clear objectives for our country, items for our country. Because, all right, have we agreed on what it is we want in education for our young people? Have we agreed on what it is that we need in terms of healthcare? Have we agreed on what it is that we need in terms of security? Those things will drive what happens in your community,
in each constituency,
and so on.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, you have different contexts for every community or every constituency. Because if I'm an MP for a rural community versus an MP for an urban community,
you will have different deliverables.
Yes.
Different deliverables. But think of it. Can you imagine a time in which the nation itself has like a business plan? A global vision.
But tell me something. Yeah. Who is going to put this thing together when these MPs do not even consult with the people that they are supposed to represent?
So you see,
neither the MP nor the council. I don't know the council in my area.
Myself,
right?
You don't know.
You don't see them to discuss anything. You don't see them to discuss anything, and they go and sit in parliament. One PNP prominent person said a particular lady always came late, always left early, and did not prepare. I don't agree with him necessarily, but it seems to be a common thing.
So
because if you don't consult with your constituency, who makes up this plan or this vision or strategy or whatever it is that you want to call it?
So before they become candidates or before they become MPs, when they are candidates, the leadership, since we have the party system, you would expect the leadership of the party to say, this is the vision I have for the nation, this is what I plan to offer if I am elected. Out of his vision, each constituency, ministry, department, whatever, should be able to pull their action list. Each MP should be able to translate it.
And that is good, but that is top coming down.
But that's when you are
at the community level. What is it? All they do is go and vote. I'm tired of it.
Yeah,
I've been around for some time. I'm tired of it. I don't know who to vote for now. I was standing in front of the Ministry of Finance demonstrating the other day. It no make no difference. And both parties are complicit. Both of them agree they want the money. What they're going to use it for? Constituency Development Fund? What exactly is happening?
But I'd like the conversation you're having, so I want to push it just one step further. So you are going to have the twin streams of work occurring concurrently. For the leader of a party to create a vision that he is going to offer to the people, his folks on the ground who are working the constituencies, the councillors and the councillors in waiting or whatever they call themselves, the caretakers, should be pulling from the people.
Should be meeting the people, talking to them.
Stimulating the output so that he can go up and say, maximum leader, I think my constituency could do with a factory, whatever it is that you want to see happen. And then out of that bottom up movement, the leadership would have a vision that they could go across the nation and say,
people will buy
this
into
is what we are doing.
from them.
Yes, and vote. And then now, when it come time to give the job description and to hold them accountable, you can say, listen, we have 1,000 people not working in this community, and you've been here for 5 years or 4 years, and now it's gone to 1,500 people. Or you can say, well done, you've brought unemployment down, you've put a factory in, the roads are better, a school is now functioning better, those who are in need of special care are on some kind of plan, and it becomes easy.
But in many places, the poor parliamentarian cannot deliver these things.
Right now, they can't. Right now, they can't.
So it seems as if we have just accepted these forms of government over the years, so we don't question them. And probably this is what, as the pastor said, we need to be doing in the constitution reform something.
Yes.
So that they have a clearer idea. And that people, I hate this underground, but that everybody can have an idea what is happening.
Yes.
And how they fit into this thing, because I'm tired of this full voting. I'm not doing it again. If I cannot participate at the community level in something constructive, you don't know what is constructive. Because when I was demonstrating the other day, I'm a very senior citizen.
Were you the
all they did was some dark looking SUV, surreptitious looking, drive past and start scanning the place. I don't know who they are, but I was told that they are political types who are feeling out exactly what is happening. I mean, the place is kind of...
No, man, it's disgraceful. That we have been educated to perform like this it's a shock to my system.
Yeah, and then the other thing...
We gotta do more.
You see, we like to give our colours identity.
No, we don't. Percy like to do it.
Let me what I mean.
From it. You don't give me an identity idea, but I will remind you. All right.
what I'm saying though, you see why constitutional reform is so very important.
It is
crucial. It is absolutely crucial. And then too, what happened with the parish council is even more crucial.
Local government.
Yes, man.
Of course, and I don't know my council. I've never seen it. You know, it's really funny. Everything is upside down. But in my community, we had a road problem. The person who fixed it is a lady who is a minister of government. And it is the first time that I can remember a politician doing anything for us in this community. I'm serious.
Lord, and it should not be so. It should not be so. There is a piece of legislation called the Representation of the People's Act. I, in my more naive days, thought it actually had something about representation of the people. It really is about running election, counting ballots, taking oaths, and so on and so forth. That act needs to be a real representation of the People's Act. But and that's something which we could have addressed on any day. We could have addressed it. We did not need constitutional reform in order to do it. And they're just so. But once we do constitutional reform, and people begin to understand that the Constitution is a covenant between state and people and person to person, it will inspire us and give us the knowledge to press for more, even in areas that don't necessarily connect directly to the Constitution, but we have been leaving it and not caring about it and not doing what we should with it. So I have to have like a
I
whole
hope I live to see these things happen.
I hope so
It
too.
will happen. We made
Pastor
the
has declared it.
declaration and we believe in it. That
We
to
believe
change.
it.
All right.
All right.
Okay,
Have a
thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow. That was pushing.
Yes, because you know me very strong on that. Some of those points.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
SSL not going away. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning.
Malvern. How you do?
I'd like to say something to enlighten self-interest.
Yes.
He said that power does not give up without resistance, without a war.
Yes.
But I would like to remind him that South Africa did give up power without a war.
Really?
Did they not?
No. I think when you really examine it, it was a situation. This is my feel that could not hold. When you have in these skirmishes, I don't know when next something going to happen, and then they get in international pressure to say the system had to change.
Yes. But let's move fast, please.
Okay.
So did they give up without the war?
Yeah, they did. They did.
Okay. So I like enlightened intelligence to think about that for a minute. And one more thing that he said Malcolm X was somehow was involved in the march on Washington, but that's not true. He was not involved in that.
What did he? He said if the march on Washington went as Malcolm X wanted it to go, it would have solved racism. The march on Washington was a peaceful march.
Right.
And Malcolm X was not a man proposing peace. So I think he was looking at the philosophy of Malcolm X was against the approach taken for the march on Washington.
That's right.
Yeah. He wasn't saying that it was Malcolm X who led the march, because we know that would have been a different.
No, not me, but he was inferring that Malcolm X was with it.
Yeah, well, that if you got that from it, it meant that how he put it created that confusion. I know he was addressing the peaceful turn the other cheek approach as being useless. And the truth is, it is useless. In fact, it is abusive of self if you pursue it in a vacuum.
Yes, Malcolm didn't really respect Martin Luther King's way.
Philosophy, yeah.
Philosophy, yes.
Yeah.
And also, this constitutional reform thing that you're talking about now.
Yeah.
I fear that it will turn out into a deformity. The reformation, what them said them about to do. I fear it will turn out to that deformity.
Yes, it is already showing signs of malformation.
Yes, and you can tell that is the agenda because of the people who are in charge of it.
Yes, yeah. They're not good midwives. They are not good midwives, I say.
They're not good midwives.
No, and well, it's hard to use the word wife meaning female.
Yeah.
Because I find in my research of history within my lifetime is that whenever a woman are in charge of a thing, it usually turns out to side with the other side.
Side with the other side.
Yes, but I think I understand what you're saying, and I believe that a skillful choice was made. And what we get from it, let's see what we get from it. I know that it's a strategy to put the leadership of it in the hands of is she Minister Malahoo Fort?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I am learning from listening to people talking on the radio. We voters, we don't even understand or even know the function of an MP. Because we believe that the MP can solve our infrastructure problems, our roads, our water problems. But you're not empowered. You're not empowered to do so.
Well, I think anyone who listens to Mr. Warmington ought to have lost that particular belief a long time ago.
Yes, but when I was a youth, I thought they were the ones who were responsible for all these things. I think majority of Jamaicans believe so. Them can fix road and them can fix water and all those things.
But you know,
we don't even understand our own government.
But there's been a change, you know, and this is the part where I suspect that you've hit the nail on the head, oddly. There was a time when the Public Works Department, there was a time when MPs could have directed local government spending through their how they related to the public works. Each prime minister, and this is why constitutional reform really needs to be properly done. Each prime minister who comes changes up the arrangements in the back office. One come and say it's going to be join up government. No MP have any individual voice anymore. Cabinet will take all decisions, allocate all spending, and the rest of you are just with your noses pressed up against the window looking at
begin to say, you can do something for me. As Warmington actually said, talk to me good.
Right. If you protest, you get nothing. So when successive administrations can come and just rearrange the structure of government to the point where as a youth, you know that an MP could do something. By the time you're a middle-aged man, MP is powerless. By the time and it just keeps a revolving door. This prime minister, in his recent shuffle, has shuffled things again.
Yeah, and him did come up with the setting where him have, you know. It's a shuffleboard.
So you're so right. It's hard to know where the power and the authority lies from season to season because it's not fixed. You can't have expectations. You can't pursue a course of activity. Each time the government change, you're guessing and spelling on who has the ability to do what, and it should not be so.
And that is why
nobody run their business like that. No serious person run their business like that.
What they have done is they have created a prostitute-customer relationship.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
It is true.
Between the voters and the MPs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to go beg them like them out sugar daddy.
And the behavior and the behavior that way from
it should not be so.
It should not be so, Malvern. We have another call. I remember one line we have, but
you made that, yeah.
Very important.
Yeah. We're one step closer.
You know,
we're one step closer with that call because just before the lady was saying, well, how do we set a job description and so on? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, beautiful lady. I'm me again.
Yes. Well, when you call me beautiful lady, you can just keep calling. I'm kidding. Have fun.
And handsome Mr. Percy.
Lord, we won't even let you hang up. No, but go ahead.
Tell me something now.
Yes.
Don't you use condensed milk?
Yes. But I don't use it. I have to cut down sugar, but I use it.
All right, good. So, almost $500 for condensed milk now.
It's a serious thing, you know, Bridget?
Of course.
Yes, $500.
I'm sure I see it for $600.
Yeah.
Not even little lots for them. Little poor people can buy all they buy right now.
Yeah.
Look into it. Look, all right. Mm-hmm. Look on poor people food, chicken back. Look at me, not big years old man. Look at me, lift the chicken back gone to chicken food, even chicken gizzard and chicken liver in the supermarket.
And nearly $300 for your pocket.
And don't talk about oxtail, which is just fat and bones.
Don't even go there, sir.
I think even the cow surprised at the price of his tail.
Yes. You see, things gone completely. I mean to say, look here, man, when I labor right or no labor right, PMP or no PMP, we are all the same people. You understand? Cut the labor right and cut the PMP and that's where you come out right. You understand what I say?
Yeah.
And everybody in this country has suffered under government or opposition. You're one of them. You understand? They live big, they can fly from place anytime they want to fly out. Who for expense? Poor people expense. You understand? So people need to get up and stand up for them want what they are for in this country here. Every little other Caribbean country fight for them want. Why we can't deal with it? But don't because well then bring out a fight like them like in that way then we go chop up shoot and this dog and it not really work. Don't go make things wanna work.
Well, you know that I'm not gonna be chopping and shooting my own. Not going to happen. Yeah, not going to happen. So we gotta figure out the right way.
Look here, man. This is some people out there look like they would want things to start all over again. Like 1980 election, man. I've been there, man. And what I mean is I've been there. Both PMP and Labour right make me have to sleep. And I cash them up for almost 4 or 5 nights straight, And make my family, them have to send them go next door, go sleep.
Yeah.
You understand?
And it's you say that, I think more people need to have a realistic understanding of what we've been through as a nation. I'm a country girl, so me just hear about the drama, and I was pretty young at the time, but the reality of it is we can't ignore the trauma of the past and say we're gonna go back to the same old ways.
No! You can't do that. You can't do that. Look how far we have come from, I'm not struggling. I'm still not struggling.
And you see what happened, is that those who oppress and those who take advantage of the peaceful, they understand that we are fearful of certain amount of trauma and that they take advantage of it. They don't forget the blood and the stress that put power in their hands. And they're always prepared to show you the gun, show you the knife, just to show you the dogs, so you can cower behind your door, or as you say, sleep under a tree.
All right. Good. Look, we can remember in the 1980 election, you see? The PMP control the Heineken beer, and the Labour then control the Red Stripe beer. If a man drink Red Stripe beer as a PMP.
Yes.
And if the Labour right here drink Heineken beer, tomorrow after what you drink that.
And we're not going back there. We're not going back there. We're not going there.
We shall not return to that place. We have to take a break now, my brother. Thank you.
All right.
I saw the Red Stripe was PNP and Heineken was.
On the dog. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already Pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Vijam Printers, your best choice in printing.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Get inspired when you tune into Vent, brought to you by Via Express Couriers. This and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on Best 100 FM. Hear from some of Jamaica's top entrepreneurs. Get updates on deals and upcoming events, tips for business, and pure vibes. Vent, a safe space for discussion. Make a chat, no man.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866. We are something special on the road.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Connection. It is now 9:35. Yes, Enlighten.
Sometimes when I call, you see, and I make certain comments, and sometimes I hear people take it out of content, out of context.
Yes.
And I want to thank my lady there for always
listening to what you said. Yes, man, and bringing clarity.
I bring clarity to what I most of the time what I say, because the line of argument, I don't know, somebody could interpret that I was saying that Malcolm X led the march and something like that. I don't know.
Or that he had a part in it.
Yeah, I don't know how somebody could come to that conclusion. And what I was saying about the PSOJ, you know.
Yes.
I was saying that those men are influential. They can influence the government. I didn't single them all out alone. I said churches and all influential people.
No, we heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to clarify and tell you, because sometimes I hear some man say, you know, to sit down and point out the danger to the government of what they're doing with the people. Because they are close here to the government, you know. They can talk to the government.
Of course. Let me tell you, it is because of their input that the government came with this response to the salary thing of saying, well, okay, one says I will give back all, I will not take my due portion. One says I will take only a percentage, and we will set up accountability measures and so on and so forth. It's because the PSOJ came out very early and said, well, don't accept, this is not a good move to take such high pay without measures for accountability and so on and so forth, job descriptions and the like.
So if they were silent, you know, the government would feel that them all right.
They were complicit. So, but I think, hear me now, and one of the things I felt when you made the comment, I think that, you know, I'm not going to quote scripture to you. I think that the government had sent out their feelers with the influential ones of the PSOJ, and the moderated response of the PSOJ was what has led us down this path. Everybody's now calling for job description and accountability and so on. Not me. not me, because that should have been there already. It's not a quid pro quo. You don't rob me or violate me and then tell me, say, all right, next time I will do. No. I don't
you
think.
need to make amends. You need to make amends right away, man.
Absolutely, completely. You don't give me any kind of palliation with your okay, I will set up. No, because you should have done that already.
Yes. And I hear somebody mention about the I think it was you, the government or the government operate. And I have always wonder, and consider, you know how much ministry has changed over the years.
Yes.
Every party going them change the ministry. You must stationary. I wonder if we could consider since independence how much money
has been wasted. Wasted.
A man go to him bed tonight and him lie down and him dream say, well, I want minister of going to heaven, minister of going to hell, and minister this and minister that. And just come up and them just have to change some ministry.
They change and reconfigure and staff get moved and letterheads and offices are rented and renovated and furniture is purchased and the whole 9 yards.
Motor vehicle, if you have motor vehicle, you have to print out the original name. And listen, man, this is the Constitution. We want to have ministry like we said, a Ministry of Education, a Ministry of Health, and so on and so forth. And we have those in the Constitution that no Prime Minister can come in and come say he want to change this.
Yes, 1 minute.
Economic growth and production.
Yes,
and production going on.
The only thing growing is the size of the government.
Listen, man, these guys are joking, you know.
Yeah.
I would allow them to get away with too much things, man. Too much things. Those are not beneficial to us.
No. But Enlightened, in part, we continue to think of it as them and us. And as a consequence, we're not keeping ourselves sufficiently involved in what is going on so we can shape it in a timely way. Anytime you see something as being separate and distinct from yourself, that distance, it helps and it hurts. That distance can keep you immune to certain contamination that's going on there, but it also keeps you out of exercising or exerting control and influence. It's not them and us.
No, they should supposed to be
all of we.
All of we in this together.
It's all of us.
Taking greater responsibility and holding people accountable to what it is. But you are correct, because that is why people don't even understand how strategic is this constitutional reform thing. Somebody mentioned to us, our constitution says our creditors have first call on any money that is raised.
And when him ready, the Minister of Finance
and say, all right,
just
NHT
live with that.
It can't work. It can't work.
Because we have written on in the Constitution the first money, as I said, the first money we collect off a pay debt,
Yes. That's how the Queen wanted it in her time, and we have not changed it.
And some of the business people, shapers of industry in this country, make sure that was written down in the Constitution.
Of course.
They're not write nothing in the Constitution about us as a
no,
people.
That's why Bank of Jamaica is independent. That's why we're in receivership. Bank of Jamaica is an independent body out there, do its own thing. And it's not like, say, we're a federation of states that you could say the central bank is answerable to other, sovereign states. One country with an independent central bank. What is that?
Yeah, answerable to nobody beside themselves.
Yeah. The creditors, the ones who lend money to the government and who stand first.
Not even a party shop, not run like this.
Party shop, a big business, please. Man.
We need to take back this country now, man. Take back the country, man, because it's our country now. We can't allow a set of people to run shadow over us and do what they feel like do. Because this constitution thing where it come like it's a secret. Because I listen to you small on a program last year and he's a member of the constitution.
Yes, he's a member of the committee.
And the man is saying that he not agree with the whole thing with them attack saying, but you're not hearing him because they're not broadcasting.
Yes, yeah, they
So every time you get a report, this is when Mala who would say,
right.
and
those meetings, those meetings should be open to the public where you can hear what they're saying.
Right.
First church, that's the first change I would make. All right, my brother, with the one line is showing signs of stress. We want to take one more call.
All right. Okay.
Yes. Are we actually able to take one more call? Okay.
But why?
If not, Pastor Percy, have the mic. Earl Brown said names of ministries have to change to keep up with modern times.
Yeah, but what your favorite person, Mr. Robinson, said it. Constitutional reform for that is in line with the people, will on the people.
Yeah, but everyone is accepting that the people are not as informed on certain things as they should be, and they're not being embraced in the conversation. I would have made the sittings of the Constitutional Reform Committee,
PBC.
I would make it public. If you can tune in and listen if you want. Nothing them saying there, not a single thing they're saying there should be private from the people of Jamaica. Not one thing. But I also expect that the process of consultation will involve other players who come at it from different angles, just to wake up the consciousness of the people. Because I think once we stimulated and activated, you will see something coming out. Let's see. I'm just going to take a quick look online. There were one or two things there's some funny things too, but I can't keep up with Big Truck and some of his jokes that he makes. Yeah. I had said something to Corey, which Taki used some reference there that I'm going to share it with you because many of you may have such a memory. Taki says, I assimilated that advice you gave to Corey, like drinking a good hot cup of chocolate tea, Jamaican country style. The one that have the oil on top.
Yes, man.
That I'm afraid of. Always waiting to make sure it's cool enough. But the point I was making there, and I think Taki caught it, so I'm just going to flesh it out. I was making a point that there are some things in life which the consequence of them are known, inevitable, and you don't have to spend time going and searching around the world to find out what happened with this thing. To Corey, I was speaking to the summons for court, which he missed. If you miss a summons for court, only one thing can happen. A warrant will be issued. The warrant is either stayed or given to the police to hunt you down. Your first move must be to address it. It is the same thing. There are other things in your life which this has happened. Consider the nature of the thing and identify the 2 or 3 likely consequences of it.
Deal with it.
This is how you empower yourself. This is how you win your battles. I don't lose battles. I don't.
And even we talk about battles, you must know which battle it is that causes you to win the war. Because some of the time we engage in battles that would not have happened. And using your example this morning, when Saul summoned the people and says, time to fight. But we go back to the heart of matters with what it is. Saul, David, contrast in leadership. One was, he was
for the people.
And one was for God, leading the people.
Your heart alignment. It can be with the people, can be with God. If it's with God, the people are fine. If it's with the people, God help the people.
Yeah.
Exactly so.
Amen.
People won't get much out of a king who is pandering to their whims, their fickle whims and fancies. Because if he chooses to pander, and let's speak now to our prime minister or leaders, when you choose to serve what gives you the best look, you're not really serving the people, you're serving yourself. Because the look you're going for is a look that is based on self-promotion and personal ambition. I want to be remembered for this. I want to be remembered for that. I must sort out my legacy. I want to, the people protest, I must find a way. I am listening to the people. No. Don't make the people protest. That's what it calls you. It draws from you. You must, as a leader, seek to understand what is the right and proper thing to do so the people won't have to protest. People protest when they see wrongdoings. That's when they protest. People protest when they're suffering. When persons are having a good time, they don't protest, they celebrate. What does the
word of
proverb
God
say?
is, when the righteous rule, the people are happy. When the wicked rule, the people groan.
Groan.
I'm paraphrasing.
So if you, and the groan is the protest.
Yes.
So if your people are groaning,
you know, say you are unrighteous.
You're an unrighteous ruler.
Yes.
Nobody have time to groan as a face card or to pretend that we want to change, so we're going to pretend that we're suffering. No, nobody not pretend suffer. We are suffer. If you hear us groaning, we're suffering, which means you're unrighteous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
tomorrow morning,
we pray.
God willing, we pray. But I like the preparation and the movement towards it. Things must be building to a crescendo. Let me see what Taki is saying here. The people's unawareness is the reason there is no mass outpouring in response to unwelcome government default. Yeah, so we have to educate our people, really. It's not so much that people know what's happening to them. The cause of it might have some areas of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're gonna turn and attack what you believe to be the cause. That's just a simple logical response to trauma. If your foot hurt you and you look down and see that ants bite you, you go brush off the ants. It's not likely that you're gonna look down on your foot and see something biting you and you're gone to attack some other issue while your foot no, you're gonna move to what you think is the cause. Crime and violence in the society, a lot of us are turning on each other because we think that is your neighbor who will fight you out of things, or is, you turn on your neighbor, on your society, because you think is some injustice in the society that is causing it.
Yeah.
When we realize that we can, with better leadership, better planning, better implementation, when we recognize that that is a solution in and of itself, we will choose better leaders. We will monitor what's going on in our communities. We will demand accountability because we are now making a link between the trauma we suffer and the hand behind the game.
You understand that. And when people understand it, so that's what it is about.
So we teach on.
Challenge. We challenge people to think again.
Yeah.
In terms of what you're doing. So it is now.
Thank you. I want a Tina Turner song to leave. May I say which one I want today? Percy, you go and do your thing. I'm going to go with Let's Stay Together. How's that? Lloydie? How's that?
One there?
Let's Stay Together, Tina Turner. Yeah, because we're talking about unity. Yes. Or we could go with